What is going on, Tammy?
Hello.
Hello.
Let me promote you here.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Wasn't sure what kind of turnout we would get tonight. I know it's Easter weekend, it's Passover, it's spring break, it's like all of the things.
Right.
Happy whatever. It's whoever's celebrating whatever. Happy holidays. I think that encompasses everything.
Indeed. I'm sitting here, I normally have like two different
well, we've seen your setup. We know what you have. No need to rub it in Danielle and I's faces anymore.
I normally have like two different clubhouses going.
Hair and makeup, and me and Tammy don't. So
I know.
We don't care about your setup. I really don't care.
But I gotta have another thing on so that I can see what's going on in the chat. I gotta have two. Because I don't want to be swiping back and forth. I want to see the chat and then see the room. So. So I just got it all set up. I think I got it all good now. Now I'm all good to go. It's all ready. All right. Are we good to start? Because this first topic is like, I don't know.
We're not good to start because I'm not a moderator, and I already told y'all I was kicking people out for the week.
Oh my goodness. All right. I'm a little bit scared
right now.
You're a little bit nervous?
I'm scared of Danielle right now because I saw her little clips on Facebook or Instagram or whatever.
You see her hitting the bag?
Shit out of those heavy bags.
Right?
Like, oh my God, she's coming at 7 o'clock and she's not messing around.
I told you.
She's upset. She's angry at all of us for all the poll comments all week long. She's been tagged in every stripper comment, Facebook, every meme.
Right?
She's not in a good mood.
Right. She ain't having all that tonight. All right.
So we'll just tread lightly.
Okay. All right. I guess I'll start it off. Welcome everybody to our weekly wellness check where we come together as connected fitness and fitness fans to just have light conversation, talk about the connected fitness industry, talk about fitness, talk about what's going on in our fitness journeys. It's meant to be light conversation. It's not meant to be anything too deep. So if you want to join the conversation, please don't feel any angst about that. Just hit the hand in the lower right of your phone. We'll bring you up on stage. You can be right in the conversation. If you don't really want to do that, just hang out. You can just hang out in the audience. That's all good as well. Or you can get the chat, because the chat be off the chain. I love the chat. That's why I got to have two phones up, because I got to see what's happening in the chat.
Don't forget to mention your group and where people can find us.
Yes. Thank you. So we talk about the topics that we're going to discuss here today during the week. We talk about them on Facebook in my Run, Lift, and Live Facebook group. So if you're not in that group, please feel free to go. And if you want, go and join that group, and then you can kind of be a part of those conversations as they happen during the week. And you can kind of see the sentiment, right? You kind of get the feel of the sentiment of what people are thinking and saying relative to these topics before we have this session on Saturday. I also wanted to say that, I'm normally late to a lot of stuff. I'm getting better at it. I'm not as late as I used to be. Now I'm like fashionably late. And in a minute I'm gonna be early, but I'm getting there. But I missed our 1 year anniversary by 1 month. So the 1 year anniversary I think was March 14th.
You missed it by a day or a week. You missed it by a month.
Exactly 1 month. It was March 14th, and I remembered on April 14th. So anyway, we've been doing this Clubhouse thing for a year and 1 month. So
I could have sworn you posted the memory last month in March when it was the anniversary.
I did. Well,
I think you did. I just don't think it clicked that it was the anniversary.
That sounds like me. I probably did. Anyway, happy anniversary in a month, everyone.
Hope you got birthdays down, Pat. Hope you're not missing Erica's birthday there.
Erica remembers all birthdays. All I have to remember is
that you remembering hers.
Yeah, all I have to remember is hers. And then she remembers everyone else's. She's like, John, today's your dad's birthday. John, today is your sister's birthday. Like, she remembers everyone else's. I just got to remember hers. So I'm okay there. That one works. Anyways, happy year and 1 month. I'm glad you guys, have continued to join us for these things. It's, this group and the group in general started as just kind of a fan group where we just kind of talked about Peloton, and then it evolved once they went public and the IPO happened in 2019. I was like I want to know what's going on with the stock, and can somebody give me some advice? So then it changed into information on what's going on in the space and competitors, and over time it's just kind of evolved to just be open conversation, open discussion about all things connected fitness. And I love that. Like, I don't like the constraints of having to always be fanatical. Sometimes you just want to be constructive. So thank you guys for hanging out with us all this time. So anyways, first topic, which I think is about to be crazy, because and you guys might have to give me some details on it because I don't remember all of them. But this week, out of the blue, Peloton announces pricing changes. Price of the bike dropped. Price of the Bike Plus dropped. Price of the tread dropped. But what didn't drop is the monthly membership. That actually went up from $39 to $44, at least for all access members. Nothing changed for digital members, but it went up. The monthly went up for all access members. I was kind of like, okay, I guess, I've had a bike for 6 years. They never changed the price. Plus, I got like 1 million referrals. I'm not paying anyway, so what do I care? But because back in the day, they used to give you 2 months free when you gave a referral, and I gave like 1 billion referrals, so I don't pay until like 2035 or something. but no, it doesn't really matter to me. But I started noticing in the group that people were like upset. I mean, there were different factions of people. Like, there's some people that may have just bought outside of this 30-day window. I guess within the last 30 days, if you bought, they will honor the price and kind of refund you. But outside of that, they won't. So there are people that are just outside of that. They're upset about that. Then there are other folks that financed, and now they owe more on the bike than the bike costs, and so then they're a little upset. And so I'm just interested in like the collective, like what's the thinking here? What do we think here about this?
All right, so my take was the fact that the price hasn't gone up in like 8 years is crazy. Like, how did people not see this coming? Like, everything has gone up. Like, do you know what I pay for a dozen organic eggs right now? I don't think you guys want to know. So, I mean, I was a little surprised that the app users' price didn't go up, but I guess if they had raised that, maybe they would have priced themselves out of the market compared to other fitness apps that just offer content with no equipment. So maybe that's why they stayed the same. But in terms of us to have equipment and we pay more for it, I don't have a problem with the price increase. And I kind of expected it. I do think for people who have 2 bikes that they should come up with some kind of like family structuring plan or something, because I don't think it's right that you have to pay for 2 full all access memberships. But other than that, I'm okay with the extra $5 a month.
Same.
Yeah, see, I'm with that. I mean, I hadn't thought of that. I saw someone else say the same thing in the group. They were like, well, if you have 2 bikes, that's 2 times 39, which is now 2 times 44. Couldn't we do something, couldn't Peloton had done something so that if you have multiple of the same product, either that just stayed 39 or there was like some family package or something relative.
But that's just the flaw in the system. Like, people would complain about that if it was $29 versus $39. I mean, they should just have some type of family household plan.
Yeah.
That was a flaw from Peloton. Like, Netflix has it where you can do, 5 devices or whatever. The fact that you, John, or like Lori or a few others have to pay for 2 bikes, that's so ridiculous. Like, it's the dumbest thing ever, right? Like, we're sending people to space and they can't figure out how to do a family pack of Peloton. That's crazy.
I remember this was years ago, but I remember there was a guy that at the time I knew, and he had like a small gym, like he was a small mom and pop gym, and he bought like 2 or 3 Peloton bikes, and he was trying to use one subscription. And I remember him telling me, he was like, John, you can't do that. They told me that the reason they didn't allow me to is because, they need to be able to, they don't want gyms to like buy 10, 20, 30 bikes and then just be paying one fee, but they got members paying individual subscriptions, but the gym is only paying one subscription, but they got 20 bikes. And so that's what he told me back then. It made sense to me. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's why they don't allow you to have multiples. But I got you. I mean, if you're just a household, and
that totally makes sense. I was just going to say the same thing as Marcos. They can cap it.
Like my Netflix, I pay for family 5 devices. As soon as I add a 6th one, somebody gets kicked off or it doesn't let you use it. They could do the same. Be like, okay, three bikes or 3 treads or whatever.
Right. And then they could get rid of that piece that they have now. It's like unlimited as long as each of your device is a different device. Like that's how they have it now. Like I had a bike, then I got a tread. They didn't charge me another monthly. It was just you have 2 distinct devices, so they can all fall under the same subscription. You're right. If they just did, 3 devices, 4 devices, 5 devices, whatever is the one family plan, they could get rid of that, right? They would just be, you got 5 devices, it's one cost. I hear you. That makes sense to me. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but it makes sense. Well, this is actually better than I thought. I thought people were going to be up in arms about that. So nobody's really up in arms about it. Everybody's kind of cool with the $44. Okay, I am too. So what about the idea that there are these folks, this is a scenario it's not what scenario I'm in, but I started thinking, I guess I can understand these people. Like if somebody came in and they just financed a Bike Plus for $24.95 and then 60 days later, the Bike Plus is $19.95. That's just how it goes. I mean, and you missed it, and that just is what it is. I mean, right? I mean, is that what it is?
Doesn't that happen with phones all the time now?
Yeah.
You buy the new iPhone when it drops, and then a month, 2 months later, the prices drop.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like that's normal.
I hear you. I mean, I can appreciate that. That makes sense to me. What's going on, Chris? How's it going?
Good. How you doing, John?
Doing good.
I had a thought and I lost it, so carry on. Sorry.
No worries. I'm probably rubbing off on you. I do that all the time. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, man. So once again, I'll keep this quick. I posted this in the group. People talking about Uncle Barry saying they were never going to raise prices.
Right.
I think I found an article that's incongruent to that.
Okay.
Because he said, I think there's an enormous opportunity for us to flex the business model and dramatically increase the total addressable market for new members by lowering the cost of entry and playing around with the relationship between the monthly recurring revenue and upfront revenue. So if I interpret that correctly, that means lowering the cost of hardware.
Yep.
And playing around with the monthly subscription cost. I can't find anything, and I haven't Googled this specifically, but he said we're never going to raise the $39 whatever it was called by some industry or media pundits. But I think he left this sufficiently vague enough to open this up. And moving from 39 to 44 with the increased content, this is minuscule. People that will churn because of that, we're never going to be long-time subscribers anyway.
Yeah, I hear you there. Yeah, I hear you there. And I remember I've read what you just quoted as well, but that confused me because he did actually say in an interview that existing membership costs are not going up. Like I think he just kind of contradicted himself a little bit. But I hear you. Like to me, it actually makes sense. It doesn't make sense to me that you could go buy a mixed bike, which is now a Beachbody bike, and pay $39 a month, and that's the same cost as a Peloton all access membership. Like to me, the content from a Peloton perspective is so much greater than all the competitors. I don't get why they cost the same.
And the term I was referring to was sacred cow. So a subscription price should never be a sacred cow. Subscription costs go up, hardware goes down, which I posted in the chat. Like the cost of a flat screen TV has gone down substantially in the past decade.
Yep.
But the cost of streaming services, subscription revenue, has gone up substantially. And everybody seems fine with that.
Right.
But now Peloton raises their price by $5 a month or $60 a year, which is less than an hour of personal training at most gyms. And people are up in arms, and New York Times writes some bullshit article like we're leaving Peloton. I just don't buy it.
Do you think that the angst relative to it has anything to do with the fact that pricing has changed somewhere within Peloton 4 times in 6 months? That's where I think that's where I think they're already kind of primed for there to be angst about it, because the pricing shifts seem unpredictable and frequent. So
Valid point. I'm frustrated by Peloton's marketing and messaging teams. Like their CMO tweeted something like, "We're thankful for our members for raising prices," but there's no context. If you're going to raise prices, you need to lead out with letting them know why, and making them feel good and cushioning the blow.
Right.
Peloton is all over the map on their messaging and delivery to consumers, whether it's transparency on why their equipment is being delayed in delivery, dealing with issues, and raising prices. There's no unified messaging. That is my biggest complaint about the company. It's been that way probably since the inception. We just dealt with it until the S hit the fan. Right.
Yep. I think we're definitely on the same page there, and I've heard that same sentiment from a whole bunch of people. Here, let me bring in.
I was just gonna say, I just want to point out, like, I have Fight Camp as well, and Fight Camp and Peloton were the same price monthly. It's $39 a month plus taxes because I'm in Pennsylvania, and I don't understand how Fight Camp can charge me $39 when all they offer is boxing, and they just added in kickboxing, probably within like the last year. And Peloton has all these modalities, and they're expected to charge the same price. I just don't think it's logical.
I mean, yeah, but
either Fight Camp should have went down, I guess, or Peloton needed to go up. But I don't think they should be the same price.
That's where I'm at. Like, either they're over, not just Fight Camp, all of these connected fitness, either they're all overpriced, or Peloton is way underpriced, and I think it's probably more of the latter. But anyway, go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say, going back to that point about, McCarthy said about the $39, it was in Yahoo Finance, and he was directly quoted as saying the $39 price for existing members is not going away, and that was at the beginning of March. So, and that's kind of what I'm saying a little bit, is just people are saying, he specifically said that $39 is not going away. I think if he hadn't have said that, people might not be as annoyed, but since he was quoted as specifically saying that.
Or like I posted, like, they should have grandfathered people in and tiered it according to years of ownership. That would have been a simple solution. But once again, I don't feel like they're equipped to deal with that. Right. Internally. Their internal financial controls are so messed up that they can't figure that out. So there's like, we'll just do a blanket, which is frustrating.
Yep, I agree with that. Here, let me bring some folks in. Lavalis, did I say that right? You there? If you are, you're on mute. Lavalis? I might be saying her name wrong. That wouldn't be surprising. John, go ahead, Marcos.
Wait for her.
Yep.
We gotta make sure Dan gives us his dating stories, because he dipped out last week incognito without giving us the dirt, and now he's coming back and he's gonna act like nothing happened.
You know what? You know what, Dan? I mean, as soon as you dipped out, I went and looked in the chat, and there was a whole bunch of people in the chat going, "Where's Dan at? We didn't hear what had happened. He left us hanging."
I noticed that. I was like, oh, Dan thinks he's slick. Like, he talked about all this other stuff and was like, I'll get back to the date, and never did. Like, Dan,
I had to just talk over air, Dan, while they waited.
I'd like to talk about my date tonight, who's Mike, my buddy.
on stage. So I will talk about my date. Whenever Mike and I may be on the same page about something. Yes, Danielle, I'm moving into business. So I'm blushing. So a couple of things. I wasn't even going to jump up on stage tonight, but I heard marketing. It's like Kevin O'Leary on Shark Tank marketing. Well, first of all, I say every week, I think their marketing has been awful, and the messaging is awful, so I'm not surprised. When I say awful, it's just remarkable going back to that first commercial way back when with the woman who, the woman who was dainty and Saturday Night Live made fun of it, and everything about that commercial. She looked scared to get on the bike. I mean, her husband bought it for that spot, up to Mr. Big dying to, it's one problem after another with their marketing. And my biggest issue, as I've said before, is that marketing wise, they're hitting, they want to be New York, Soho, Hamptons, and LA, but there's such a big part of the country that until they get Bubba on the bike, NASCAR Bubba on the bike, I don't think they're going to grow.
Right.
But with that said, so that's just like my feeling. Their marketing's always been off, and it's getting worse and liberal, very liberal, I say, regardless of which side you're on. So it doesn't surprise me they really fumbled this. And it does remind me of like New Coke or, the irony to all this, John, is if you remember, Netflix came out and split the company years ago, and it was going to be Netflix for the DVDs, and the streaming service had some awful name that I'm sure someone remembers or can look it up. So it's actually, while Uncle Barry, I think, was there, Netflix came out with splitting their services, speaking of streaming, and they had an awful name, and there was a revolt, and they got rid of it.
Dan, sorry to interrupt. Quickster. I was there.
Quickster, you were there? Okay. So it was, sorry if you came up with that strategy, but it was kind of a disaster. So I think the only other thing that I heard that I respond to is that, the old analogy that's used in things like this is, to buy the razor, and get the razor blades. But so I guess my point is I'm bothered also by the raise in prices, and it's different. It wasn't like, I think the perception is it's not like buy the razor and get the razor blades. I think a lot of people, partly because of the Affirm deal, like almost think that the monthly service is included in the bike, or their perception is I'm not paying for it, or it's all wrapped into a monthly rate. I just think it's a real perception issue. I think the timing was bad. It's clearly, if you look at social media, and sorry to go on and on here, it's not, I was looking at all the comments on Instagram, it's not about $5. They really insulted their core and fired up a lot of people. And myself as well, I just think they handled it so poorly. Yeah. So that's my take. I will come in with my agenda item, Dan's dating life, in a little while.
Now, if you don't come back with the Dan's dating stuff, I'm going to be sitting here talking over dead air, and they're going to be all in the chat talking trash about me. So, we're going to come back. We're going to come back there. But yeah, I don't think.
And by the way, John, sorry, not to monopolize this. You always talk about like losing weight and this and that. I've never been to your Facebook page till this week. Dude, you're fit. You'll kick my ass any day. You're talking about grandpa. You're like 8-pack abs, John. I saw what you looked like.
That's of recent. That's Erica just saved me. I just lost 32 pounds. Well, I'm all right now. I'm getting a little better. But anyway, yeah, I think you're right. I don't think the people. None of this bothered me at all. The $5 didn't bother me. I mean, it's been $39 since I jumped in this community in 2016. Everything I buy has gone up. I tried to redo my deck last year. Right? I went to Home Depot to buy some boards for my deck. I wasn't even buying that many boards, right? I was buying like 10 boards, 11 boards. Each board was like $18. Like, it was ridiculous, right? Prices are just outrageous everywhere. So, $5 up for my subscription to Peloton, which I love, doesn't really bother me much. But I agree with you. I think it was broader than that. I think all of the changes, the chaotic kind of movements, things that looked like they were more reactive than proactive. I think it's a broader kind of thing that caused all that. Anyway, I see Melanin Jewel, but I can't bring you up. Something ain't letting me bring you up, Melanin. I don't know what that's all about. That's all right. We'll keep trying. But unless somebody has anything else on that, let me know if you do. Oh, one more thing on that. Not only do we have this now, did you guys notice that on the Peloton main page? Well, let me back up. A month or so ago, we heard about OnePeloton Club where Peloton was going to start leasing bikes. But right, it was like 9 places, 9 showrooms. You had to walk in. You couldn't call anybody. You had to just walk into one of these 9 showrooms. Now all of a sudden it's like 33 and it's expanding. Now, like this past week, you can just go to the main OnePeloton, page, and right on the main page, they're like, yeah, you want to rent a bike? It's like now it's like right on the main page when you log in. It's like right in your face. So and I think you can call now. You correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. I think you could call your local showroom or someone, but
yeah, you can call your showroom.
Yeah, so it's kind of evolved. It's interesting to me because I know, Uncle Barry's making all these moves now with the subscription pricing and the bike pricing, and now even if the bike price isn't low enough for you and you don't want to finance, now you can just go rent the bike. And I mean, it makes me wonder, is that a part of some of the angst too? Like, are there people going, I want that deal for a second bike, and I can't get it because, it's not offered to people that already are subscribers, or if you ever were a subscriber, you can't take this deal. It's like meant for them to get new subscribers. It makes me wonder if that's a part of the angst too, right? Like existing members just annoyed that they can't take advantage of some of these new offerings. Michelle, I see you now. I got you on stage. How's it going?
So I'm good, thank you. And yes, it's $5, and it's not going to break any of us, but it's the way they went about it. So all of us probably have belonged to gyms at one point or another. Mm-hmm. And when I was a member of Lifetime, every October, November, you get this nice little letter, "Dear Ms. Williams, we've got a great thing going here at this gym, but we had to put in a new boiler, and we had to hire new staff. Therefore, your rates are going up $10 beginning January the 1st.
Right.
They don't seem to think about that. And suppose I do want another bike in my house, or I want to give one to my daughter. Why can't I rent one? They're not really, it seems like they're not loyal to their current customer base. They're not really thinking about us. Let's just get some new people in here and some new money, and everyone else will just have to suck it up and deal with it, which is not the best method, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think you're right about the common sentiment. Like, I think that's been the sentiment that has some folks up in arms. I heard one person in the group say, how come I heard about this price increase when I was drinking my morning coffee watching CNBC? Like, she was upset that Peloton didn't tell her about it before CNBC did. So, yeah, I hear you. It's broader than the $5. I get it. All right, unless you guys have more on that topic, I'm gonna move on. That wasn't that bad. I feel really good about this now. I thought topic number 1, like most weeks, goes like 45 minutes. That was just 29 minutes. Like, I think we're doing good.
Hey, John, no, I want to come back.
Don't get too happy with yourself.
I want to come back in just for a second because someone made a good point in the chat that I just want to share thoughts on, which is someone mentioned Prime, and I think that's a great example of messaging done well. So with Amazon Prime, they increased their fees to like $130 a year, and I didn't see the same backlash because you have Prime Video. Not only do you have 2-day Prime delivery for those people that have it, but they're doing same day, and they said you're getting same day delivery, and they outlined all the benefits for Prime members, so you got more for the price hike, and that price hike was like 30% or something. So I think that was just like the messaging I did came across to me as we've been undercharging versus we're delivering more. And it was like, well, we've got all these classes, but I was like, you have all these classes yesterday. It just was like a price hike versus, we have something new we're giving you for this hike and more benefits. So I did see someone on Facebook say, like, where are all my 45-minute classes that have disappeared? Like, people focused on it wasn't like we're getting extra value in the $5. If I was doing it, I would have said, we're going to raise prices $5 and let's attain to have people make them say that's a deal because you're getting so much more for the $5.
Yeah.
So whoever brought Prime, I think it's a good example. I think Amazon did a great job with it, and they did.
So Dan, despite you not liking my legs in a mini skirt, I'll agree with you here. And I think once again, Peloton missed the messaging opportunity. So I think Prime did a great job of raising prices. Peloton didn't. They're like, oh, we have more classes, we have more instructors. Like that lacks context. Prime included metrics and context. So Peloton should include the bogus Strive score and other things that people are more engaged with the platform, and that's why we're raising prices.
Yeah,
it's very simple. Like it's what like my hashtag on one of my posts was subscription 101, and it's very frustrating to see them fumble this. And I hope Uncle Barry and the team he's bringing in fix this.
Yeah.
Currently, it's broken.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like how they worded that, I guess. Yeah, they could have done that a little differently. I think the outcome, what they did, doesn't bother me at all. It's just like how. Like I hear you. I'm with that. What's going on, Janetta?
Hey, what's happening? I'm not gonna say a bad word. I'm here. I'm just listening.
Hey, our podcast is
right away because this is like. I didn't know that they increased the prices, and guess what? That's a blessing.
Yeah.
Not knowing what's coming, and it's like, oh, $5. Okay, I can afford that. From day one in 2017, when I got my bike, I thought $39.99 was not enough.
Yep.
That was not enough money for the amount of content that we get all the time. Live classes, on-demand classes. And it's personal because these people get to know us.
Right.
And I always thought, like, damn, these people, when they're going to raise the membership? I don't care that you pay whatever, $2,500, $3,000 for your bike or $5,000 for your tread class. I thought that it was not enough because then you could include all your family. If it's just one bike and one tread, you can have all your family, your friends come over and use it. And I'm, maybe they didn't send a letter. Maybe it's in the garbage, in the trash. maybe that email's in the trash and we haven't looked at it. I found out right now that it's okay. $5 is fine. I know a lot of people there paying $5 for freaking coffee every morning when you can pay about 40 cents at home, but let's not go there. That's not teaching. I don't care. It's good. If they increase it, it's fine. What the hell is the bitching about $5? Oh God.
Yeah, I'm good.
Hey, Janita was complaining 3 weeks ago that avocados went up, and now she's okay with $5 on Peloton.
But listen, avocados. I eat freaking two Marcos, mi amor. I eat 2 avocados a day. And this freaking Safeway, they have 2 avocados for $5. Are you kidding me?
Right there. Stop eating 2 avocados a day.
Now you gotta drop 2 avocados a month just for this Peloton subscription.
I eat 2 avocados a day. No, seriously, I take 1 to work and I eat 1 for dinner. I love avocados. But for the bike, for the amount of stuff, also that is, the bike and the tread, this is therapy, you guys.
Right.
For me, okay? I'm talking about myself.
Right.
This is like, I don't pay therapy. That's $120 an hour. So that's my therapy right there. I'll pay anytime. They want $50, I'll give them $50. The gym will cost me $135 a month for my daughter and I, and she never used a freaking gym just for the membership. So I'm just saying, okay, keep talking.
And I want to point out too that one of my oldest son had to do CrossFit as part of like his quote unquote required baseball training when he played baseball. This was in high school, and we paid like $120 a month, and he only got 2 classes a week at CrossFit.
Right.
Like, and that's nothing compared to what
That's what I'm saying. That's why I just feel like Something's wrong with the pricing across the whole connected. I mean, it's relatively new, the space in general, but something's wrong with the pricing across the whole space in my mind, the monthly subscription fee, because it just doesn't make sense that you could just walk down the line and they're generally right around $40 a month. All of them, regardless of if they're offering one discipline or 20 disciplines, it's $39 a month. Like, so something ain't right. I mean, everybody knows the Peloton content is the best content out there. How come their content costs the same amount as everybody else? Something ain't right. So I don't know. Anyway, what's going on, Kari? How you doing?
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Who let him on the stage?
Oh, why not?
He's on my list.
Haterators.
Haterade. That's a hater.
No, I wanted to talk about just the pricing of the content and classes. Cause
Yeah.
if you think about some of the boutique fitness outfits, and you guys may have already discussed this, but I believe Lisa used to do Pure Barre, and I don't think it was less than $250 a month.
Right.
And I know Orange Theory is about $150 a month.
Right.
So just to think about, as Yanira just brought up, like for $40, $45, it's almost as if they were undercharging. But I also agree with that Amazon approach of making sure that you share the value and the reason as to why you're making the increase. Otherwise, it does feel like a price hike.
Right. Yeah, I think that the messaging was a little odd. But get this. Okay. Well, in 2016 and into 2017, when we first got the bike, we're paying the $39 a month for a subscription. Me and Erica were in the city like 2-3 times a month. And we were in the studio when it was open. And how much did each one of those cost? I can't remember. It was like $37-$40 a bike. So
I thought it was free in the studio.
No, that's only at noon classes. Everything else was a cost. So
that's right.
So we were paying, with two of us, that's like $80 a class. And we must have been doing at least 4 classes collectively a month in studio. I wonder how many of the people that now are having issues with the $5 were along with me in studio paying $300-$400 a month on top of my $40 subscription. But anyways, I get that there is a messaging disparity. But in my mind, I know it's $5. They haven't raised it in so long. I mean, it's kind of logical. Let's see. Who's in? Oh, that was Janetta. We already got her up. Cool. Hey, Jamala, how are you? You there, Jamala?
There we go.
Hey.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So I just wanted to say that I don't have a problem with the $5. I agree with everyone. It's like been long overdue, and we get a lot for our membership fee. My issue was just the disparity between the digital and the all access membership.
Yeah.
I was a digital subscriber for like 3 months, back in the day before I got my bike, because I belonged to a gym at the time, and I went into the gym and I used the bike there to see how I would like it and all that, and I fell in love, so I got the bike. But so I have that experience as a digital rider, setting up the iPad and the cadence monitor and all this other kind of stuff that you have to do. And for me, it was the inconvenience was not worth the $12.99 or whatever it was a month at the time. And so, I was okay with switching. But I think this whole strategy that Peloton's doing right now with lowering the equipment costs but raising the membership costs has totally backfired from the digital side, if that's what they're thinking. If they were like, oh, we're going to get people in the door with having cheaper equipment and all of that, because I'm still a member of the digital app members on Facebook, and they're all like so congratulating themselves, thank goodness I never bought a Peloton bike. Look how expensive it is now. I'm fine with my, Schwinn or Icy, whatever, and all these different ones that they use. And, that's the talk that's going on over there in the digital. So, I just wanted to comment that I think that strategy is backfiring for them. And I really wonder what's going to happen with the digital app subscribers, because I was watching a YouTube thing, and they're thinking it's going to go up. Like, they're estimating like double, that it's going to go double. But
so you're thinking, okay, so wait a minute. You're thinking like back in August or whatever it was last year when they lowered the bike price but left the Bike Plus price the same, and it backfired because then people were like, okay, and then everybody bought bikes. No one bought Bike Pluses anymore, which affected their revenue negatively. Thus, they then had to like raise it back up in January by adding the delivery fee to kind of balance it back out. You're thinking this is a similar thing in that since they didn't raise the app subscription along with the all access subscription, they're going to skew those numbers, and there'll be more app subscriptions than would have been full subscriptions. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't know if there will be more app subscriptions, but I have to believe that Peloton thought that lowering the equipment price would lower, and also offering like the rental program and all of that would lower that
entry, cost of entry.
Yeah, the entry point for people to get in, exactly. But all these people who have their setups and everything, and were considering it before, the biggest objection that I see on the digital app page is the membership price.
Is the $44? Dang.
Yeah, well, because
really?
they're paying. Some people are only paying like $9.99 because there's special programs for teachers in different groups, and then some people are paying the $12.99, and some people have been able to get $12.99 for them and like a partner by doing like sharing through Apple Family Plan and all this kind of shenanigans and stuff that doing. But so they're just seeing $12.99 to $44.99. That's a big jump, and people are like, I don't want to be locked into that forever. Where I think if there was a smaller discrepancy between those two numbers, people would see the reduction in the equipment costs and be like, yeah, I do want the full experience.
Wow, that surprises me a little, but I could be. So now I want to see how this plays out. Uncle Barry is moving really fast. It's like when he sees something, he just like spins and turns and we're onto another direction. So if that is the case, I guess we'll see it, right? We'll see it soon. Now I'm interested to see how that plays. Okay. Well,
look at that. Just like that, 7:45 and still the top at 1.
Yeah, you're right. My bad. That's right. I was all happy with myself.
Just cracked the whip.
I was all happy with myself. 7:45 anyway.
We covered the price. We covered avocados, gas, Prime.
We covered avocados,
coffee, Starbucks.
And
let's go. Topic 2.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send Janetta 2 avocados every month so that she isn't impacted by this. That's what I'm about to do.
Those by 10 a.m. What's 2 avocados a day for her?
That's right.
That's breakfast.
That's
who the hell eats 2 avocados a day? Like, what is wrong with you, Yanira?
That actually sounds really good.
What? Oh, you
3 avocados a day.
I love avocados. So
Danielle, we're done with that topic. Okay, let's go to the second one.
I have your phone number. I will harass you.
You see how I buy like 30 avocados a casco. But those bastards, they increase the price to like fucking like $12 for the bag. I'm like, fuck you bitches.
That's why Kari doesn't fit in skinny jeans. Now I know. 3 avocados a day.
That's what it is?
Over there.
Kari doesn't fit in skinny jeans because he's not doing the curse out clean challenge like his wife told him to.
Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Oh, snap.
Jeez.
Oh, snap.
Just took a turn here.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm going to move on to the next topic.
Oh, boy.
All right. Well, let's see.
Danielle's not playing.
She said she wasn't playing tonight. She said
better stay in line.
All right. So the Kirsten Ferguson was on Alley on the Run, a podcast that I'm not all that familiar with. But
I love that podcast.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's great for runners.
Yeah. Well, I had listened to Kirsten talk on another podcast. I don't even remember the name of it. It was like a couple months ago, where she kind of told her story about, working for the NFL and being a part of working when Beyonce did the Super Bowl halftime show. And then she talked about, how she got into fitness, and she talked about her struggles, having kids. And so it was all interesting, right? It was very interesting kind of listening to it. What was really nice about listening to it was you can tell she was clearly a Peloton rider prior to being an instructor, and she's a big fan. And so she talks like a fan, right? That I found very interesting. It was it's all kind of fun. But with Allie on the Run podcast, it was kind of a similar interview where I got all that same kind of vibe from her in it. So I don't know if any of you guys listened to that or had any thoughts on it or had any thoughts on Kirsten in general as an instructor.
I thought some things came out that were kind of interesting. Number one, if you're not familiar with the podcast, she has interviewed a lot of Peloton instructors. She's interviewed Wilpers, Jess Sims, Jess King, Bex. She's done a few. So, if you're interested, you should go check it out. But they kept introducing her as a tread and strength instructor. So I wonder if she's going to have strength content coming.
Wow. Okay.
She said even when she got the call from Peloton, she wanted a cycling gig because that was her background and she was already doing cycling classes, and they had told her, we're not hiring cycling at this time. We're only hiring, running and strength. So that's what she went for. So I'm wondering if we're going to be seeing strength content or like boot camp content from her, or maybe even rowing content. I don't know, because she never corrected Allie. I mean, she let Allie keep going on about tread and strength, and she never said, oh, no, I just do running content. So I'm wondering if that means there's something planned.
I adore Kirsten, and I hope that she's coming to strength, and I hope that she has boot camps. I absolutely love her. So I would love to see her in those other modalities other than just, on the tread. I mean, first of all, she's close to the 40 club if she's not in it yet. And she's a mom. So, she, ticks off all the key points for me of people that I identify with and relate to. And she's funny. And she's the ratchet mom that plays the ratchet music in the parking lot of Target. I just adore her. So I hope she comes to strength.
She kind of came in and I think it seemed to me like she became really comfortable in teaching these classes and being a part of this and kind of just owning that space really quickly. I was always kind of impressed with that. It didn't seem like it was to me, I know they're training for months and months on end, but it just seemed like a real comfortable, kind of obvious kind of thing, kind of watching her classes, even her premiere run. It was like she had been there forever. So I've been kind of impressed with that. What?
And I love, if you ever listen to her IG Live, she'll tell you that she was not a runner and that she was very uncomfortable teaching running, and she really had to train and learn the stuff that she was this is I can't run and talk and do all this stuff. So it's really, really impressive because you would never know from looking at her teaching a class that she wasn't comfortable doing it to begin with. She's just so natural at it. And, maybe it's from years of teaching spin or whatever she was teaching before, and maybe it's just her personality. But yeah, I mean, if you just listen to her on IG Live, she says it all the time. And she's she wasn't a runner. She was like us, and she would have to run at a slower speed. And it's just really cool to listen to her talk and to her story. I absolutely adore her.
The fact that she just started teaching classes over, what was it, IG or YouTube or wherever she was teaching them before she came to Peloton. That's wild in and of itself, right? Just to go, I'm going to start teaching these classes to people I know and see if they can, come and take my classes, and just on your own, just do that. I was impressed.
I think that's how she was discovered. She would stream them on IG Live.
Right.
And a producer or somebody kind of, found her, followed her, and I think that's how she kind of got discovered.
Yeah, during the start of the pandemic, I believe is when it started, is that she was teaching at home on her Peloton bike, teaching her own content, and then someone found her, and here she is now. So, it's just remarkable. It says, number one, don't ever give up on what your dream is, that if you want to be a Peloton instructor, or if you if you're manifesting it, or if it's, you know, something that's even in the back of your mind, don't ever stop believing that you can do it. And number two, you just never know who's watching you. You never know who's seeing your reels, or seeing what you're doing on Instagram, or seeing what you're doing on Facebook, and you just never know where it's going to land you. So
yeah, I see Heather in the chat. You mentioned that she knew Robin prior. Yeah, I saw. She mentions that how she had run into Robin, I think at a game. I don't remember where prior, and they kind of hit it off prior to this ever happening. But yeah, all of that. The whole story is kind of cool. It's interesting to me. What's going on, Jessica?
What's up? So she's 37.
Okay.
You know, Kirsten's my boo. That's Bae right there.
Right.
So she's not yet in the 40 club, but she's getting there. She's a ratchet mom, and I absolutely love her. I think the confidence comes from her teaching. She used to teach in a studio prior to this, and then the pandemic happened, and you know, she's just like, what am I going to do? And so she pivoted and then started teaching online. So she did do in-person and in-studio work before, but again, it was a different modality. However, those transferable skills of just teaching in general, I think she used that to her advantage. But she did have to learn a different skill set. And I'm really amazed by how she just took something that she didn't know and really, well, literally ran with it. Like, she's incredible. If you guys have not listened to her story, have not listened to that podcast, all of the things that she's overcome, can you tell I'm a fan? Like,
you know,
she's incredible. Kirsten is incredible. So if you haven't listened to it, and it will move you in many different ways. So please do yourself a favor.
Yeah. Again, I was most moved by the fact that she was, you know, it wasn't a celebrity talk. It was just saying, she just sounded like a fan to me, like, you know.
And she's still humble. Like, she was over the moon about her running with Robin, and she did meet her at a game, at an NFL game.
Yeah.
I think it was the Jets game. She's still like fangirls out, which I think is so humbling.
Right.
It's to who she is, right? Like, she's dope.
Cool. All right. Unless we have more on that, let me know if you guys have any more on Kirsten. But if you haven't checked that out, it's Alley on the Run is the podcast. I can put the link in the link is in the group if anyone wants to listen to it, or just reach out to me and I can send you the link if you need it. The next topic. Oh, let's see, who do we got? All right, the next topic is let's see, which one do I want to jump to? Oh, the guide. So I know that Tammy, I know you got your guide this week. I know a few people did. And, you know, I know last week Danielle gave that phenomenal review of what she thought about it. And so, you know, I'm really now interested. More people have it now. What are the thoughts now? You know, we got a little bit of time. We got a week or two under our belts now, and people have it. Like, what are people thinking? When I was reading an article in ZDNET last week, and in the article, they're interviewing this guy who's Peloton VP of AI and computer vision, and he was talking about a lot of stuff. But what I found interesting is he talked like, yeah, this is kind of just an entry point, and this is going to evolve, and there's going to be more coming, and you know, this thing is going to be able to do more things, right? Like, I found that interesting. So with that in mind, it kind of changed my perspective of it. But I'm interested to hear. Besides that, I'm interested to hear what you guys think now that you've had it. Thoughts?
I'm glad I got it. I think for the price point, it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely like the movement tracker. I definitely did stay engaged longer throughout the workout. If I would have paid, you know, I think, weren't they initially saying that this was going to be, you know, like $5.99 or $600?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would see the value in it at that price point based on what it's currently offering. But again, I think, you know, like you just said, you know, the future of this, of potentially doing more, is still to be determined. But, you know, I'm okay with the fact that I spent $300 on it, but I don't know that I would have spent a lot more.
I have to agree with Tammy. I think the higher price point, and I had gotten it, I would have been like, really? Like, $500 is what I got? Where's my freaking rower? It definitely wouldn't have been worth it at $500. And I did take some live classes. I've gotten tons of questions from people who have like DM'd me or whatever regarding. I did take live classes from between last week and this week, and They worked pretty well. The timing was off considerably. The countdown clock would be on one thing and the class would be on something different. At one point at the end, I did Jess live Monday morning at 7:30, and it kicked me completely out of the class before she was even done. So I was really pissed. Well, I mean, I was pissed and I wasn't pissed because she was holding a plank. So I was like, okay, bye, Jess. But I was kind of annoyed because it just completely booted me out of the class. So I don't know what they have that they need to fix with the live classes, that doesn't happen anymore. And the timing is definitely off. But I've noticed even in general, the transition timing has been off in all the classes, whether you're doing a bike boot camp or a tread boot camp. The timing has been terrible, and it's persisting with the guide. So the screen would tell you that you're on move A, and you've got like 20 seconds left, and the instructor will be counting down until you've got 30 seconds left. So they got to fix the timing. Like, absolutely have to fix the timing. Live classes and even recording classes. Even recorded classes, the timing has been off. Because I did a 5-minute abs with Rebecca Kennedy today, and she was already in the move, and she had just started the move, and the clock was already going. So I ended up getting like a 58% on my move tracker because the timing was so far off from what she was cueing.
Was it a newer class?
Yeah.
Yeah. It might be that. But I find the timing on when it's not live is fine. When it's live, it's trash. Like, it kicked me out of Jess's class, and I was like, all right, that's that. Like, the live timing is just not where it's supposed to be.
Did you get kicked out? You got kicked out on Monday too?
Yeah. So it ain't it. Like, that's just, I think live they have quite a bit to go, but the recorded class I haven't shared yet on social on like my thoughts and stuff about it. I think it's amazing. I think the price point is bomb. If they had went higher, I agree. I would have been like, do I really need this? But the accountability that comes with it, it's surprising at how much more you are engaged in your workout.
But wait a minute.
Realize.
You guys are saying the timing is off. It's not specific to the guy, just in general in classes? Is that what you guys are saying? Or specific to the guy?
They break down a movement, so that timing, when it's live, is off.
Oh, okay. So got you.
Like, they pre-give what movements they're supposed to have, right? And
right.
Like the format. So it should be telling you when your rest is and etc. And they'll tell you like, oh, you're in a rest. Shorty's in an RDL. You're like, I'm sorry, what?
Right.
But it's not counting your movement.
Right.
Or it would start counting your movement when you're in a rest. You know what I mean?
Right.
But in terms of timing for classes, like the tread classes, the transitions, and bike boot camps, have been disgusting. Like, we would literally be in the middle of a sprint, either the tread or the bike, and it's just been off. And I'm like, what is happening? So you'd be so close to a PR because you're going that much faster, that much harder, but you'll miss it because it cut off the time and they cut off the tread, and next thing you know, it's a floor segment.
Right.
I have 30 seconds left to this sprint.
Right. I got you.
That's so frustrating.
Yeah, that would be frustrating. I get that. Okay.
The other thing
I was going to say.
Go ahead, Danielle.
I was going to say the nice thing, though, is that even if you take a class on the guide that does not have movement tracker capability, you still get to see the moves ahead of time, and you still get to see the minute-by-minute breakdown.
Well, that's cool.
You can't see that if you're using the bike for strength or you're using the tread for strength. I don't know about the app, but in the past, you couldn't see that. So I did shadow boxing today with Jermaine, and I could see, okay, I was going to be in round 1, and this is how many minutes I had left, and this, that, and the other. So it's nice to still see that on the screen because I used the guide, and it was nice to be able to see myself on the screen because you can still do self mode, even though the movement tracker wasn't tracking me. It's nice to still be able to see that, which you don't have when you take those classes from any other device or anything. So if you take it from the app or if you take it from the bike or the tread, you don't see all that and you can't see yourself. So that is nice.
Okay, I'm going to bring Anisha in here in a second, but I'm going to say something real quick before I do. This is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing the idea of the guide was the bomb when they told us about it. Now we have it, and it's I mean, it ain't got the same hype, but, it's all right.
No, I like it. I think it's more than all right.
For real? Okay.
But Peloton can sell me anything. They can literally sell me the equipment that I have in my house, and I'll be like, oh, this is lit. Kind of, you know what I mean? So I'm different. I know that I have issues. I think that it's bomb.
Yeah.
And I think it's worth every red cent that I pay for it. You know? Like, that's just
and this is why me and Jess are friends.
Okay.
Together.
Yeah.
We literally talk all day. We have
all day. So I know that I have issues, and I know that I'm like really. Peloton literally can sell me water. Like I probably would buy it. And so I've been a part of the community for so long. You know what I mean? So I'm just a fanatic.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I really do think it's worth it.
Okay.
And when Verwey comes out, I'm gonna absolutely buy that too.
Oh, I got you May 4th at what we say 9 a.m.
Here you go.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. You saw the eyes, right? It said May 2022, and I had eyes, John. The eyes were for you. Oh, thank you. That's all.
Y'all ain't gonna be able to find me on May 4th if they don't drop that roar. I'm just letting y'all know right now. All right. Anyway, Anisha, how's it going? You there, Anisha?
I'm here. It's going good.
That's good.
Everything's good. I was coming in on the Kirsten comment.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I would say I would probably fall into the same category as Danielle and Jess.
Mm-hmm.
But I got the guide. I can't offer any kind of comments on it because mine just showed up today. So I'm kind of in the background putting it together as we speak. So maybe next week I'll be able to hit you up. But my comments will be the same as theirs. Peloton can sell me anything. I'm gonna be like, yeah, it's good, it's great, it's whatever.
Right. I can appreciate that.
Has the same problem. She's another person that I talk to all day, all along. It's like, so when you understand my crazy and Jess or Niche or Steph, or if Charlotte pops up, then you know, okay, they're all crazy, just like Danielle. It's okay. It's understandable.
I can appreciate that, though. I can appreciate that. It's all good. I mean, when I look at people opening them things up online, the packaging look off the chain, though. It looked like they packaged that stuff up. That's nice.
Well, that's how they always do. Peloton real good about putting something in a real pretty package and making it look all nice and shiny and
you know what I mean?
And whatnot, and making you want it. So that's always the way. You always come looking real good.
It look nice.
It's always the first start. So it's like, yeah, I can get with that.
And they get free advertising from all of us.
That's true.
They do. They really
get tons of free advertising because I have seen the guide posted on Instagram so many times from people that I follow, and even people that I don't follow that just happen to be like part of the BGM family. I'm like, damn, Peloton has got their game strong because they get more free advertising than any company ever.
They do. They really do. But no, before I came into the chat when you were asking people's thoughts on Kirsten. And it was really more so just because, for myself, I would say I'm a lot biased because she and I are from the same town.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of, it's just for me, at least, a lot of bias in the fact of being able to see someone that I have grown up with from our community be able to have, their dreams come true.
Yeah.
Be able to see her, again, as a fellow Pelotoner, be able to be somebody and be up on the main stage in the way that she is. So she is the real deal. She was one of us who is now up on the platform, kind of walking the walk and talking the talk. So, she's my girl. She's always going to be my girl. And kind of like when Danielle said, "Bite me about the Women's History Month."
Right.
They bite me about Kirsten. That's
right.
How I feel about her.
Okay. I can appreciate that. Her demeanor, I love. I love her demeanor, like her dialogue, what she's saying when they're talking to her. I can go with that. I can ride with that. So I'm gonna go with what you guys saying. I like that. All right. Well, I'll move off the guide unless you guys have anything more on the guide. I'll move into the next topic because this one's interesting to me. Go ahead, Chris.
I just had one quick question for people who have been trying it with the movement tracker. Does anyone else feel that people might be overly motivated with that? And that without the form tracker movement, if they ever have that, but without that, it seems like people could be motivated to try to get quick reps in and let their form go out the window just to fill up the movement tracker. So I'm just wondering if anyone else has had that same thought who's tried it.
That's interesting.
Well, I could tell you that I definitely put more. I just did a workout earlier today, and I definitely put more emphasis into my AMRAPs and my EMOMs because usually my AMRAPs usually have some built-in rest if no one's holding me accountable. And I'll fix my shoe, I'll take a sip of water, fix my pony, but I was worried that I wasn't going to get my credit for the full thing. So it did do what it was supposed to, I think. And I think my form didn't suffer.
And I agree with Tammy 100%. I said this last week. That definitely motivates me to keep moving. I will say, because I've had back injuries, that I'm really, really careful about certain things like RDLs and stuff like that I make sure my form is good, regardless of what the movement tracker says. But that's just because I've had previous injuries, so I want to be careful. But it definitely motivates me to keep moving and take less rest breaks.
That's my question for people who might not have had an injury. Do you think people might be not as careful with some of those and possibly overdo it because of that extra motivation?
I can see that. I can easily see that happening.
I would hope not. I can see it though. You make a very valid point.
Yeah, that's something. Or conversely, Chris, sounds like something I would do. I've got too many injuries. I can't do anything too fast. So I would probably just end up not filling the movement tracker thing and then being upset that it's telling me I ain't never finishing all the moves. Like I
think, I don't know, I've only played with it a couple of times. I think as long as you're moving, even if you're moving slowly, like I definitely don't do things as fast. And I know I asked Danielle about that last week when she got hers. I'm doing way less reps than they're calling for in a lot of things, just because I'm very careful with my form and I won't jump. And I think as long as you're moving, like I've always filled up my movement tracker.
Okay.
She was calling for 12 and I only did 6.
Oh, okay.
And you'll still get the credit.
I agree.
If you're in the movement and you're doing the motion, then you're fine. It doesn't matter how many times you're doing it.
Okay. I got you.
Well, that's good to know. I haven't played with different speeds, so that's good to know that, if you move slower, it's still going to give you credit.
Okay, that's good.
As long as you're moving, you're still getting the credit. The thing is that I think, for like you said, for people who just want to really finish it quickly, that there is the potential for someone to have bad form or something like that, or potentially injure themselves. But if they realize that as long as they're still moving, it doesn't matter your pace, you're still getting credit for it.
I'm still of the mind that at some point there's going to be some form of smart weight, whether it be a Bluetooth sticker you can put on the existing weight, or they sell us some smart weights that are completely separate. I still am of the mind that's going to happen. I don't have any inside information. That's just me thinking that's got to happen. And then when that does occur, there will be a little more than just rep counting. There will be a version of some form of form correction based on the fact that they know what's going on with the weight. I'm of that mind. I think that stuff will come.
And you know what? It's funny because
right?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that the 5-minute ab core class that I took with Rebecca Kennedy today was geared towards the movement tracker. I picked one specifically that had movement tracker in it, and this is the lowest I've gotten ever on like my percentage completed of moves. But she was moving so much faster than like I was able to until the tracker was, and it was counting down and over before I got there. But I almost feel like you're right that soon, I don't know soon, but eventually there will be like a form thing, because it was like, okay, you're in a hollow hold, and I was like, I'm in the hollow hold, but she was there longer than I was, just because there's no transition period. Whereas like I needed time to get from one move to the other, and she kind of just flowed into it, that like it stopped counting my moves because it was like you're not moving. So I think there's gotta be like form correction coming at some point.
That's what I think. Some version of it. Like I'm not saying, all elaborate, but I gotta imagine something, right? But we'll see.
So Danielle, don't pick me out, but if everything you guys are saying is true, the Guide Plus is what they're going to sell you for.
Mark, I already told you in the chat.
Just so you know, that's right.
Marcus, I already told you in the chat you were getting kicked.
New weights.
I don't know why you said it.
New weights and the Guide Plus.
John, can I kick you too? I can kick you out. I don't think I can, but I'm going to try.
Yeah,
that was a great comment.
Yeah, that would be scary.
Kari, he mentioned it.
Kari, go do your curse out crew challenge. Come back and do
No, I'm okay.
with your curse out crew challenge.
I'm gonna get it done. It's gonna take me a little bit longer though.
All right, let's see what we got next on here. Yep, go ahead.
Can I? Yeah. So on YouTube today, I watched this review of the guide, and they had a AI specialist from Australia.
Yeah.
Who was on there. And so basically the consensus of the group was that Peloton had bought like the tech from that yoga mat company or whatever.
Yeah.
And they felt like they kind of rushed to put it, the product out there, and it, doesn't have the actual AI where it can tell you you're doing an RDL right now or whatever. It's just the movement tracker. But so they were, kind of a con on that side, that they kind of rushed it to market. But the thing that I took away that was like really positive was the AI guy said that the actual guide tech, or the potential that the product itself has for expansion exists already, he believes, in what they have. It's just what Peloton is able to do with it.
Wait a minute, say again, Jamala, what was this you were watching? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Do you know on YouTube there's a show called Connect the Watts?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So I was watching that. He does like similar iFit and Peloton and all the different connected. And so he had a stream with like 2 people on it. One guy who's like a podcaster in tech and all that. And then he had a guest from Australia who is like, say, or something like that. I don't know. Artificial intelligence, is what he does. And so he has Peloton products. He has the tread at home, and he talked about how he took the Peloton tread and he hacked the screen.
I saw that.
Yeah, and he put his AI intelligence product he said that his company is working with other fitness companies right now to develop similar things like the guide, and so it's in process right now that we'll be seeing out there. But he said he took the technology that his company has already done and put it into the hack of the Peloton tread screen, and then had himself be recognized by the screen and stuff. And he was like, I got to give it to him. He's like, the screen already has what it needs for that. And he's like, it worked really well. And so he was like, it's a really good outer package. Just, it wasn't, in his opinion, it just wasn't quite ready for the stage yet, but it has everything in it for like his product that already exists to put in it, with his opinion.
So here's the one thing that I struggle with a little bit about that. So that company that Peloton purchased late 2020 was Otari, and they had like the yoga mat thing, right? And it had AI, it had form correction, it had rep counting, supposedly, right? If you watch their video and you look at what the capabilities they say they had were, they said when they produced their video that all of that stuff already exists in their AI. And that if you use their mat, it was going to do form correction. It was going to tell you when you were out of form. It was going to count reps. There was going to be a number on the screen. It was going to know when you moved to a different exercise. And their whole demo did all of that stuff. So that's where the confusion is for me. If Peloton took that technology and used that to create the guide, then shouldn't we have all that stuff right now? Right? That's where I get lost, right? Like,
yeah, the AI guy today was saying it wasn't only Otari, but it was like 2 other companies that Peloton had acquired as well that had some of this technology, and that's the only one that I remember by name, the yoga mat one. But he said maybe part of the implementation problem was taking these 3 companies that all kind of existed in this same AI world and then trying to get them to come together and work like as a team to produce this product.
Yeah, I remember at the time they also purchased Atlas Wearables, and Atlas Wearables had like a watch that was crazy impressive to me. It was like you would just, let's say you're just outside and you're just running, and the guy he goes to the ground, he starts doing push-ups, and the watch immediately recognized, you're doing push-ups now. So it just started counting push-ups. And then he got up and he's running some more, and then he goes and sees a bar and he starts doing pull-ups, and then immediately goes, oh, you're doing pull-ups now. So it starts counting pull-ups. So yeah, I remember there were multiple companies they purchased. I remember that. And I thought the things that they looked like they could do were so impressive. It still throws me a little bit. If these things could do such impressive things, then yeah, maybe it's just that difficult to try to bring these things together, but independently, they seemed like they could do all this stuff, right? Like, so it throws me a little bit.
I think it's Uncle Barry go fast. He wanted to put a new product out there too, and so I think they're just maybe playing catch up. Better to put something new out there that people will buy, and then they can do a patch later on.
Yeah,
because. Me too. I'm like, didn't the Nintendo Wii have some of these capabilities 15 years ago? So I don't know.
Yeah. So I
just kind of feel like they can't have something that doesn't work perfectly come out. Like, they've had so much scrutiny. They don't have the luxury of putting something out that's not almost perfect. So if they add those other functionalities to the guide right now and they're not at like 100%, I feel like that just gives them the window for more people to drag them more than they already had.
Yep.
So I think they kind of have to wait until they've got it at a more suitable level of accuracy where they feel really confident with it. Whereas like someone else can come out with something and be like, oh, it's 70% accurate.
Right.
Peloton can't do that.
Right.
They don't have that luxury, in my opinion.
And also Otari and Atlas Wearables, and they didn't have these products that they had videos for weren't actually out yet. Like, they were coming out, and one of them was that they were still kind of in the funding phase. So yeah, for all I know, their videos were really impressive, but maybe they just couldn't really do what they're aspirationally wanted to do, and that's what we found out once they were acquired. I mean, it could be that as well. So I get it.
And one thing about that, those acquisitions were in last March or so, and I think we got the first reports of them beta testing the guide in like May.
Yep.
So it could just be, they brought them on for the next round of improvements for it, and they're kind of working on that second generation of software already, and it was never the plan for them to have that for the initial release.
Oh, that's interesting thought. That could be as well. Like, they'd already kind of started working this thing. They buy these companies, now they got to try to work that stuff in. Wow, maybe that's it.
And I think Danielle makes a good point about the standard that Peloton has to deliver, when they send it out, because on that show today too, they were referencing Peloton as kind of being like the Xerox or like, Kleenex or whatever of their world. Like, you have a spin bike. Oh, do you have a Peloton? It's just ubiquitous with that. So,
yep. I'll have to check that out. That sounds like a good one. I saw clips of it. Now, as you kind of talk to it and how they hack the tread screen, I did see clips of that. I didn't completely watch it, but I'm going to go back and check that out now. That's a good one. All right, let's jump into the next topic. The next topic is apparel. I got questions about apparel. So Peloton just had another drop last week, right? Another apparel drop. And so before I thought Peloton was going to be trying to move out of apparel, and Uncle Barry was like, I need y'all to sell all this stuff, which is why it was so inexpensive. That's what I initially thought. But now this looks like a whole new line drop. Like, was I wrong? Is it just that they're going to stick with apparel? Maybe they're just going to partner now instead of going solo like they were talking about before. But they're going to stick with apparel, and they're going with this idea of just like more drops. Could it be that? Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm confused. And I don't know if anybody bought anything. Did anybody buy any apparel? That's another thing. Like, the more drops might, it takes away from the excitement of it. So I don't know. Did anybody get anything with the last drop? Or with that whole 15,000 minute thing? Did anybody get their 15,000 minute apparel stuff? No? Let's see who's coming up. Let's see.
I didn't buy anything, but I just wonder how far out they have to order that apparel.
Yep.
Like, how many months ago did they order it? So it might not necessarily be anything Barry is doing. It's just the remnants of the previous Jill's reign.
They just had a summer photo shoot Alex was in, and Kendall.
That's right. You're right. I
think I'm the only person that loves Peloton apparel in this chat. So
I love it. I love it too.
I love apparel. I love the Cadent line. The Cadent line is amazing. If you haven't purchased a Cadent bra or leggings or tights or whatever, get them. They're the best leggings I've ever had. That material is like butter.
That's what I ran my half in. Like, so I don't get the complaints about their power. I actually didn't like the width line when they had it. I bought it just because it was Peloton, but I really like the apparel lines.
Erica's been like raving over some Peloton apparel lately. Now if she's in the chat, ask her about it. But something like she was all raving about. So you're not the only one, Jessica. I think a lot of people kind of liking the apparel. But I thought they were about to start moving away from it. Now I'm like, I gotta correct myself. I don't think they are.
They're not.
No, they're not at all. They're sticking with it.
And I've purchased more items under their own line than I have their other lines.
Oh, okay.
It is better and the material is better. So I have way more of the Peloton brand of like Cadent than I have any of the other ones. I have the width line I didn't care for. I think the cut is small. I think the sports bras choke you. Like, it's just not a good look. But the Cadent line, I have way more of those than I have of anything else.
So check this out. Oh, Courtney. How's it going, Courtney? How are you?
Hey, no, Jessica and Danielle, I love Peloton apparel as well. I didn't purchase anything from the last drop because I'm just waiting to see what they're going to do for Mother's Day so I can just get everything at once.
Yeah.
I'm going to get that too.
So that's all. And then I also got the email, even though I get up early, about the Peloton, the Apple Watch bands, but then they sent the email at like 2:20. When I got up at like 5:45, it was back to sold out. So I was also trying to wait to like get all of that at once.
Yeah.
So I missed that. But I did comment on your post on Instagram, John, that I did get my 15K minute apparel. And it seemed to be some of their older stuff.
Yeah.
I like it because it wasn't something that I had purchased previously. And I think what I see them doing is moving more to more streamlined kind of capsule collections.
Mm-hmm.
And really the sale, I think it maybe was also to maybe clear out some warehouse space and offload maybe that commercial leasing maybe that they had for, to house some of this apparel.
Gotcha.
To clean, the warehouse out to, offload that and then to focus more specifically on kind of these like seasonal capsule collection. So that's just my thoughts.
Maybe that is what it was. We knew something was going on. I mean, there was clearly like something different happening with the cost of the items. Yeah, maybe it was just that. We were all speculating, this means they're clearing everything out and they're getting rid of it. But no, clearly they're not doing that. What's going on, Courtney?
Hey, y'all.
What's happening?
I love the Peloton apparel. I was so happy when they got rid of the WIP partnership because that stuff is terrible. I think it's poorly made. It rolls down. It doesn't, it's awful.
Yeah.
But what I will say is I really, really love the Peloton shorts. They're the only ones on me that don't roll up or roll down.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is I happen to be near a Peloton store, but hadn't actually had any plans to go in the Peloton store, and then went in the Peloton store and bought a bunch of stuff and ended up also buying the heart rate monitor when I was there.
Okay.
The thing is, I think the reason why they won't get rid of apparel is because it's one reason why those of us who already have everything go into the store.
You see, that makes sense.
They get rid of apparel. I wouldn't have bought the heart rate monitor had I not been in the store.
That is a very good point. Over the years, I've gone to a bunch of showrooms, and the only reason I'm going in there is because there's apparel right there. That is a very good point.
Or you just want to check in and give your energy, right? But then all of a sudden you walk out and you spent $300.
No doubt. No doubt. Or when we was going into the studio. Now you was going into the studio. Yeah, you like to buy something.
God, I bought so much stuff in the studio.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. I hadn't really thought of it like that. That's true. I got a question though for all of y'all. Listen, okay, we know last year, or maybe it was earlier this year. I don't remember the timing. Lululemon came out and filed a lawsuit against Peloton talking about some design of some bra and some leggings. Now, they done come up with Lululemon now has a whole trade-in plan for lightly worn apparel. You could just go trade some stuff in, get some new stuff. So when I saw that, I thought, I know people love Lululemon, What is that going to do to all these other connected fitness companies that have their own apparel? Like, will that have an impact on Peloton? Would someone not buy Peloton apparel because they could take their Lululemon old stuff back and get some cheaper stuff?
I don't know about that, but I know for me personally, you. This is gonna sound crazy. Used stuff literally makes me itch. My mom loves a thrift store, and I will go in and immediately start like scratching my arms. Like, I gotta go. I'll wait for you outside. I really wait for her outside.
But I'm not talking about you buying used stuff. I'm saying if you could take your used Lulu stuff and trade up and get some new stuff with it. So now the new stuff is less expensive.
Give me new stuff.
Right.
If they're just gonna give me used stuff, I mean, like, no, it's cool. Because I'll just be scratching the whole time. Like, I can't do used clothes. Can't do it.
Hi.
John, I don't know about that. I think last week several of the ladies were saying they go commando in their pants. And I could not buy used because that's all that I would think about.
Right.
So, no, I love y'all, but not that much. Not that much.
See, I'm with you there, Courtney. I'm not trying to argue against nothing Danielle or you are saying, because I wouldn't be with that either. I'm with y'all. I'm just wondering if you could cut some dollars off. But like someone said in the chat, it's probably just pennies on the dollar. But if you could cut down some leggings that was supposed to be $80 and now they $40, would people be more apt to just go get the Lulu stuff and keep trading stuff up than to go get Peloton stuff? That's what I was wondering.
I mean, all they gotta do is wait 2 weeks anyway, because then Peloton drops at the Walmart price.
You ain't never lied. You ain't never lied. You right. But you know what? Back to them shorts, Courtney. You talking about them shorts? You right. I mean, I like Peloton apparel. I'm a big fan of Peloton apparel from men's apparel perspective. I'm a big fan of, like, you know, the fall stuff when they have like the sweatshirts and you know the hoodie stuff, and you know, in the fall. But as soon as they start getting into this summer stuff and they start coming out with these shorts, I can't rock with them. They too short for me. I can't rock with the short shorts.
I don't love the men's shorts on men. But I do have some of the men's shorts for me.
Okay, see, that'd be different. Yep, I got you. Yeah, I can't.
But I do love all the sweatshirts and the hoodies and stuff, and like they've been recently doing these short set sweat combinations, sweatshirt shorts combinations. I think I have every single one of those that isn't pink or tie dye.
Right. Yeah, I'm a big fan of their stuff.
Well, I have a hoodie addiction along with a baseball cap addiction. And a sneaker addiction. So I have a lot of addictions. I have a ton of the hoodies, and the shorts that go with the hoodies, I like those. But I mean, I don't know, Rad likes those short shorts, right? I mean, it's all good, isn't it?
I know it because I'm old. I know it because I'm old. You don't have to say it, Danielle. You don't have to say it. I know it because I'm old. I already know that. But I can't get with the short shorts.
Season, John.
Season. There it is. See? Thank you, Kari. Thank you.
Listen, John, I'm not calling you old, because if I call you old, I have to call myself old.
Oh, okay. You're right.
I will never call you old.
Oh, okay. Okay. You're right. All right. Okay. Well, I think we're good with that, unless you guys have anything more on the apparel. But I'm good with it, too. I kind of like the apparel as well. I just had those little quirks with the shorts. That's about it.
The one question I have about the apparel is the apparel company a separate? Is it a subsidiary or is it part of the company?
Well, they branched off. I mean, they created their own apparel line, right? Late last year.
They did, but is it its own? Is Peloton Apparel its own company outside of Peloton?
Oh, I don't know.
Peloton Apparel a part of Peloton?
Yeah, I don't know how that's structured. That I don't know. I don't know.
I don't either.
We've been all kind of noodling over whether or not, whichever one it was, whether or not it was going to persist. But I think based on what we're seeing, I think it will. So we'll see where it goes. All right, I got some questions. This next topic wasn't even supposed to be on the agenda. This got on the agenda because I posted it in the group, and then I started noticing everybody had a whole bunch of opinions on it. I was like, I can't leave that off the agenda. So yesterday, the New York Times posted an article, and they were talking about how people are now returning their Pelotons because they're now thinking that, it was great during the pandemic, but things are opening up now, and they're realizing if they just at home, they working out and they looking at the couch and seeing some dirt underneath the couch and it's bugging them, and they worried about if their kid about to come in the house, and now they want a separate place to work out. Now they thinking, no, I don't know if this working out at home is all what it was cracked up to be. I think I'm good with figuring out how to get back to the gym. So that was their take, and they had interviews with like 3 or 4 previous Peloton members, and they were all talking they stuff about why they came to the conclusion that maybe working out at home wasn't all that great. One was talking about how he thought the leaderboard was nice at first. Then he realized he was just concentrating so much on the leaderboard. He just wants to get to a place where he can just concentrate on himself, and he defined that as going back to the gym. So I want to know what you guys think about. Are these people that just got the bike during the pandemic, thus they don't really have that same kind of passion for it? Are these just like outliers, or do they have any point in any of this?
Well, John, I'll come in to Stan because I sent you the article, and I don't know if you'd seen it already, but I think it's a crushing article for Peloton. I really, with everything that's going on with them, I thought it was a pretty crushing article. It was dour. It was like sad. It also reminded me of the people during the pandemic that got dogs and then was trying to like sell the dogs back or give the dogs back at the end of the pandemic. I was definitely like light users. I don't think anyone as passionate, obviously, in this room, but it was, the gist for those who haven't read the article, John summed it up, but it was people who were going online, bought the bike for $2,200, we're selling it for $1,000 to get out of it. And then probably one of the more crushing sentences was someone's quote, which was, I want to sell it now before there's sort of a plethora of bikes out there and everyone's selling them. So I want to get out early. So it was a pretty crushing article to them in light of sort of the narrative of big boom with the stock and then, crash. And now people selling the bike to get out of it. It was pretty harsh. I mean, I'll be surprised if, people feel like that on this group because we're here on a Saturday night. But that was my take. I did not think it was a good article for the company.
Hey, I appreciate you sharing that. I think it's good that we've got that awareness around people talking about whether or not they're going to keep their bike or get rid of their bike. But what I want us to think about too is what are the numbers showing?
Right.
When we look back at each quarterly report and churn and see how well the bike ownership is, not the bike ownership, I'm sorry, but the subscription base is still there. There's going to be people that are going to churn, but I don't think it's as big as we think unless we see that in the numbers.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking, I think at any point during any year, given any news, you could probably find people and have similar commentary. So, yeah, I want to know what churn looks like when they report fiscal Q3 numbers, 4 months from now. Like, because that will really tell the story. But I guess they had these folks that were claiming that to be. What's going on?
Well, that's okay though. Like that, I don't think it's a bad thing that people are buying Peloton bikes and letting them go. It's I don't know. I feel like it's kind of escalated to this point where it's like making Peloton like a bad product.
Right.
It's really not. I mean, that type of thing seems to, in my opinion, it feels like it's a normal, natural thing. Like some people aren't going to always like it, which is
right. That makes a lot of sense to me. Go ahead, Courtney.
Sorry, go ahead, John.
No, go ahead.
This is a big part of the activist investors who are trying to push for a sale, right? I just think that some of this stuff is so unfounded in reality. And, Dan, I hear your point. I actually agree with Kari. I hear your point, but you know brands. If I look at, I read your bio, you know brands and how to build brands. I literally in my life have never seen a stickier brand. Where people like us are sitting here communicating about it. I have a room tomorrow about this. We have BGM. There are all of these Facebook and Instagram groups and all these sort of Slacks that have been created around it. And people use this product those of us who like it, at one point the rate of engagement with the product was like 93% of people use it at least once a week or something like that. And that was that. I think those numbers were actually pre-pandemic numbers. So it just seems like a lot of the news that's floating around in the New York Times article, which is I think not a great article for the company, but ultimately was probably created through some of that the desire of those investors who want to see the company sold. It really is super overblown in terms of what the churn is, and the other thing I'll say is what I'm excited about is as people start to sell their bikes, other people will get committed and connected to the community, and hopefully those are folks who won't sell their bike in just a few months because things have changed and they can go to Planet Fitness, which is what I think the article said, which blew my mind.
Right.
You're giving up your Peloton to go to Planet Fitness?
Right.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that was crazy. That's right. Here, let me bring some people in. What's going on, Megan? Megan, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I commented to you earlier that in the buy sell trade group, there are a ton of bikes. Last night when I was just scrolling through the site, there are tons of bikes on sale, and the range in price is anything from about $700 to about $2,800. People are throwing in everything they got with it, trying to sell, and I assume that people who are trying to sell regular bikes at a higher price are probably people who may have financed or think that with all of the accessories they can get back a good chunk of their money. But I think that just from the groups alone, there are a lot of bikes already on the market.
So before I bring you in, Mike, to that point, Megan, yeah, thank you for sending that to me. That was really interesting to me. I'll tell you what I took away from all this stuff. I took some of this is kind of hyperbole. It's in that article. To Courtney's point, that I hadn't thought about, this is the Blackwell stuff, and maybe these folks that are trying to, to rile these things up. But that makes a lot of sense to me. But also, I was thinking, we know that there are reports now that their visits to the Peloton website are down. Searches on Peloton and Google are down. That's being reported by a bunch of financial firms that are trying to figure out what revenue is going to look like when they report in a few weeks. So if you take that and then you align it with some article like this, and then you align it with what you represented, Megan, there's a whole bunch of bikes now on the market. I don't know how many more there are now than there were before. I think it's an easy kind of story to spin. You know what I mean? It's a very easy story to spin. I don't know what reality is, but it's an easy story to spin. Also, from another piece of that for me is, we know that during the pandemic, it just was an irrational number of people that just started buying bikes. It just went crazy in 2020. It went nuts, right? Every quarter, the number of folks that had bikes was crazy. They got all backed up. They had to start air shipping bikes in. It got nuts, which makes me wonder, that kind of over the top kind of uptick, would it be logical that there would be something that was excessively, but it was excessive on the other end at some point? And is that now? You know what I mean? So my mind starts thinking that as well. Anyways, those just thoughts. Hey, Mike, what's going on? You there, Mike?
There I am. Okay. Hey, Grandma Shark. So you took a little bit of the wind out of my sail, but that's kind of what I was going to say. Is I think that those are outliers to a large degree, but I think they're outliers. A lot of them that probably jumped in during I've got to have something to do at home and stuff because I can't go to my gym now, and they got that, and they maybe never had a real intention to keep it at a home thing. I think probably there were people that didn't have that intention that discovered they liked it at home, but there are probably a lot of people too that wanted to go back to their gym.
Yeah.
And so I think they're not people like us, that a lot of us had it before the pandemic too. And certainly I think the trend is still going to be in that direction, but right. I can see where there are going to be a number of people that got it during the pandemic that maybe didn't want to do that long term.
Yeah, I was a Peloton nut long before the pandemic, so yeah, I ain't going back to no gym.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, John, it's Dan. I just wanted to weigh in on something about this point. To state the obvious, we're talking a lot about equipment and apparel, but it's about the instructors. And, when you meet somebody and say, who's your favorite instructor? Who do you usually ride with? As long as they keep that core group of instructors and add new talent to it, I even think it's getting lost a little bit with the guide lately and with other products or lean break or whatever it is. I mean, it's still about the instructors. That's the core. Ironically, I think Foley got rightfully killed with this Plaza Hotel party at the end of last year among the layoffs. But it was for the instructors and his friends. So it's about the instructors, and as long as they keep the group together, pay them. That's the attachment to consumers. That's what's going to keep them there more than the equipment. That's the only thing that's different between them and Beachbody, arguably. So that's my take.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, the instructors, how they produce their content, I hear you. I'm with you there. Hey, Chris, I saw you trying to jump in. What's going on?
Yeah, I was just going to say, going back to the numbers, one of the things that we've seen every quarter for the last year, the number of workouts per subscriber has been going down. So, that's just kind of part of that story as well. Some of that could be from all the new people who are now burning out on it, but is that going to continue, or is that going to start to go, back up the direction they wanted to see now going forward?
Yeah, I noticed that in last quarter's numbers, and not just last quarter, the quarter before that. So we saw a trend 2 quarters in a row, right?
The last 4, yeah.
Last 4. I hadn't recognized it was all 4, but I had noticed it in the last 2. That it's continually like the number of workouts per member had been going down. Churn isn't really changing, but people seem like they're not taking as many classes. I wasn't sure how to translate that. It's like, remember when all of a sudden we started seeing a whole bunch of more 15 and 20-minute classes, and I started thinking, are they doing that so that they could boost the number of classes that people are taking, so then that number will look more impressive? So then conversely, now I'm thinking, did something else happen similarly, conversely though, that now has this number showing something they don't want it to be, but it's just because of something they represented, I'm just not aware of? That comes to my mind too. I don't know, but I have noticed that those numbers keep going down.
I know they have gone down, but people are still at 19.9 or 20 classes per month. I think the average is still 19.9 or 20 classes per month.
15 this last quarter.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah, it's wild.
I was going to say, I noticed for myself that my own numbers have gone down.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, my kids all play sports, and our schedule has just gotten increasingly more crazy. And Paul works a lot, and he can't always take them to sports. So, my numbers continually have decreased over this year. So, if January was lower than December, February was lower than January, it literally just keeps going down. So, I'm wondering if other people are having the same situations as we roll into more things are being open. There are less restrictions. Some of my kids are doubled up in sports. One kid has got track and lacrosse, on the same day. So I'm just wondering if other people are affected by the same thing, and that's why the numbers are going down.
Well,
I'm not any more crazy about Peloton than I was last year. I just don't have the time. I can't do it.
Well, I want to add something on top of that, but go ahead, Jessica. I'll come back in.
I was going to say, for me, my numbers have gone down in terms of amount of workouts, but not my minutes or anything like that, because obviously you guys, some of you may know, I work out for a long time. It's because I'm taking longer timed classes. I'm taking more 60-minute, even taking a 75-minute class. So the lengthier classes are what's taking up my time, as opposed to doing a whole bunch of 20, 30-minute classes.
Girl, your workouts, I don't work out as long as you work out. I don't work out that long. I ain't even gonna lie. I don't work out that long.
No one works out that long.
Excuse me. We're not doing this.
Don't nobody work out that long.
We're not doing
this. Sis, we'll do it all day. Don't work me.
Girl, I watch your workouts. I watch your workouts on IG. I feel like I worked out, but I don't be working out that long.
What's interesting is you wonder if they're using the right metric. I mean, if that's really the most valuable metric, I think it's one, the number of classes. But again, like Tonal uses the number of days active and the amount of time spent on it. So that's what their leaderboard is based on for.
Yeah, I think that makes sense for strength. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It made me wonder if something in their and this is just like a self, prescribed thing. Like, they just no one's asking them for that metric. Like, they're using that as a means to let people know like how sticky their product is, and I anything could have changed to adjust that. I'm just not sure how to read into that. But to the point I was about to mention earlier, then I'll jump to you, Deidre. Danielle, 2021 was rough for me. Like, I don't know if it was rough for everybody. I don't know if we kind of share in kind of a similar kind of experience, but 2021 was rough for me. All kinds of things was going wrong. And so I just wasn't on the bike or tread as much because I had real serious things I had to deal with, and then just life was different in 2021. Now, 2022, things are kind of, it's kind of coming out of that. Things are kind of, correcting themselves. But it makes me wonder if folks had similar experiences, if it was broader than just me and John in his own cocoon. It was more of a, a U.S. cultural, worldly, if it was broader, right?
Oh, I think 100% it was broader. Like, I think all of us had a whole lot of stuff happening in 2021. And now 2022, we kind of feel like we can see the light a little bit. Like, we have a better outlook. And, like someone else said in the chat, for us and in the Northeast, the weather is finally breaking. Like, we have all these things. And I don't know that it means we love Peloton any less. It just means that things are different.
In 2021, I gained all that weight. I was hiding from cameras, mirrors, windows with too much glare. 2021 was rough.
Not windows with glare.
Okay? I was hiding from all that. I was walking in the bathroom pretending there was no mirror there. I was just walking straight, head straight towards the toilet. Listen, 2021 was rough for me. But yeah, I wondered if it was similar for other folks. I don't know. Cool. Go ahead.
Can I say something, John?
Yeah, absolutely.
What I think is like some of us that have been using Peloton for a long time. Me, 5 years. Like when I started, I wanted to do 20 classes in 2 days because I wanted to hit a milestone by Saturday. I was doing so many freaking classes. I would be on the bike for 4 hours on Saturday. It was just a lot. And it was mainly because, I want to do a milestone this day, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. Now, I think I decreased the number of classes because now I'm running, and I cannot just do 6 running classes in one day. And I kind of focus more on what is it that I need for my body, like doing strength training. And I did yoga just to kind of stretch out my body, and I did the running and the boot camp. And I think that's why. And then the people that came in 2020, they just got the bike. Like when you get divorced and you get a boyfriend because you just got divorced. And then, fuck, that's not what I needed. I didn't need another boyfriend. I needed to be alone for a while. And then you got a bike or a tread in 2020 because everybody was at home. And now they're like, oh, no, I want to go back to the gym. And because these people like the socializing and seeing other people out there. And that's why they're getting rid of it. Yeah. For us, it's different because we've been there for so long. We just decreasing it because we're doing stronger shit. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if you can understand what I'm saying.
No, I understand exactly what you're saying. That's what I'm saying happened to me. And so mine just kind of decreased in 2021 because of what was going on. But now in 2022, my stuff is back up again. Now I'm running. Now I'm back to running. I'm back to riding. I'm doing it. All of a sudden, it's starting to ramp back up. Now, and that's where my mind was like, is that broader? Was that just not just me? That maybe that was a lot of folks coming into 2021, and maybe that's why we're seeing the decrease in average monthly workouts, because 2021 was just rough, and maybe in 2022. Maybe those things will just, kind of change. But anyway, let me bring some folks in. What's going on, Deidre? You there, Deidre?
Hi. Yeah, so I was saying I agree with both Danielle and Janina because it's like people who were working from home and they took like elongated breaks to do their workouts and all that stuff. And if now they're being forced to go back into the office, they don't have that time anymore to do all the crazy workouts. And then also, like Anna said, that some of the people that joined recently, they went crazy trying to like get all these milestones to like feel like they were part of the community, you know, much faster. And now it's like, okay, I did all that. That's not really sustainable. I just need to, can you hear me? Sorry, I said a poor connection.
Oh, no, I see. We hear you.
You know, kind of figure out what really works for them, what they can continue to do with everything opening back up, whether it's work commitments, just wanting to travel, because I see a lot of people traveling a lot more, you know, so they're taking all that time off from it. I know I wanted a Peloton for a while, but I just couldn't fit it in. And then when life situations happened and different things, and I was like, you know what, F it, I'm getting it. And I was working out. That was like my therapy for a while. And I'm still working out every day, but definitely not as long as I used to, because, you know, I'm back at work, I'm doing all these other things, and you just don't have the time anymore.
Right. Yeah, I think there's a multitude of reasons. Again, I think the New York Times article kind of focused on like there's this new paradigm, but I don't know how much of it really is that or not. I'm not really sure. What's going on, Travis? What's happening?
What's going on, everybody? What's going on, John? Been a long time, man.
No doubt. All is good.
Yeah, I'm happy to be back. I've been, we've kind of been absent on the Peloton Riders of Clubhouse chat. I don't know what happened with Tristan.
Oh yeah.
But we got to get back on that. But I really appreciate what everybody is saying. I think I can agree with what people are saying from multiple different perspectives. But look, I mean, we're all adults. We make time for the things that we want to make time for. And if we were all in 2020, I got my bike in 2018 when I moved from Maryland to North Carolina. And I was the poster child, just like that commercial, who got the Peloton bike for the wife because she was moving into an office role and wasn't going to have time to go to the gym. And then I got on board the Peloton, wagon, and was just going all out and riding a lot and making, the time for it. And then the pandemic happened. So then we had to make that shift. Now that things are beginning to open back up, I had to focus more on my health and wellness.
Right.
And if I was all in when I had the time, and now that I don't have the time, I have to make that time. And so for me, that's where my mind shift began to say, you know what? If I was consistent when I had the time, and now that I don't, then now I have to figure out where I can make the time. And yes, I have 2 small children that the pandemic, they don't understand that. And they're active in sports. They do multiple different activities. I have a boy and a girl, and they do 2 activities each. So I'm running all over the place. So where are the sacrifices that I have to make so their lives aren't shortchanged? So if that means me having to get up a little earlier to knock out a ride, that's so be it. But what that's going to do is give me longevity in my life to ensure that I'm going to be able to be there for them. So I get up, I handle that, I do my job, and then I take care of them. And then in the middle of the day or the end of the night, if I can throw in another workout that's going to stretch my body a little bit more to increase my longevity, but most importantly, give me my health and wellness, then that's what I'm going to do. And so, a lot of people, and I'm not saying anybody on this line, a lot of people want to make excuses, want to trade their bike in. They're just trying to find an out. And that's the way that I look at it. If they were in, what makes Peloton so special as opposed to tonal and everything out there is the community. That's what it's built off of. It's built off the community. It's built off the instructors that add to that community and give everybody a safe space to just show up, do what they need to do, and then go on about their business in a judge-free zone. And so if you want to maximize that, and we were doing that for all of the ones that were, on the quote-unquote proverbial bandwagon during the pandemic because we had the time, and now things are beginning to open back up and we don't have that same kind of time that we used to, and we have to make the time to really focus more on our health and wellness. And I'll just say more so since I've made that mind shift set, like the pandemic, I was going through the motions. I was really on board and I was doing it. But since I've made a commitment to make the time, I've lost 20 pounds in 3 months. Riding.
Yeah, I mean,
building a workout.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with the self accountability kind of aspect of what you're saying, and how you should be able to find your why and the self motivation type stuff, and all of that you said, like I'm with that. I'm kind of speaking to what the actuals are seeing from a numbers perspective, and what may be causing that. And so that's where I don't know if it's, people just not being accountable or not. Like, maybe some of these people were gym goers and got freaked out about the gym, decided to buy a bike. When they got the bike at home, they just didn't feel the magic we felt. And now that people are letting them back in the gym without a mask, they're selling their bike. And then it doesn't necessarily mean they're less, committed to what they're doing. It just means they're committed to doing it a different way at a different place. Like that. So I'm trying to figure out what that is. And also, like, going into, 2021, businesses were shut down, and I just had a lot of particular personal things happening with me. There were a lot of people were dying in my family, and I was having funeral after funeral after funeral. So it was more of a mental thing that was kind of hampering me in 2021. But and I've been working out consistently since 1986. So it ain't stopping. It ain't stopping. But I had to kind of step back and think, what changed in 2021 that made my frequency at that different than it had been for the 20, 30, whatever years it was before 2021, for that 1 year. And that's what made me wonder if there's a broader thing, thing that was happening to all of us. Is there something more that was going on in all of our spaces? And it wasn't just me. This 1 year since 1986, I kind of slowed up, and then I jumped back in 2022. Is there more to it, right? Like that was kind of the question I was kind of wondering. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just me. Right. But I hear you. I know that, people you kind of have to be self-motivated. You got to find your why. You got to stick to that. But, it's life. And so I'm sure some of those things happen to some people. And we know that monthly workouts are down, and they've been going down in 2021, which aligns with my experience in 2021. So now I'm wondering, will we see in 2022 that those monthly numbers will just start going back up? Like, is it just something I can't put my finger on?
Okay, but John, listen, it's like, what is it? What are they counting? The number of workouts? Because if I was doing 5-minute classes and now I'm doing a 60-minute class endurance run, I mean, what the hell they're counting? Because I feel better now, and you are in better shape now. And I feel like my ass is a lot higher now that I'm focusing on some, specific stuff. Like my strength training and my running. And when I go to the bike now, I don't go to do like, let me do 10 classes on the bike. I'll go do maybe a 5-minute warm-up if I can get up early. Like today, I just jump into that 30-minute bike class, and then I went straight to a 30-minute run, and then I did a 45-minute strength training class. So I think right now for some of us, like let me talk for myself. Like for me, it's about like, what am I doing that's gonna help me run better? Because that's what I'm doing right now, running more. It's not about the milestone and the numbers and the shout out. That was at the beginning. That was in 2017. This is 22. I am more into, I don't even announce it. When I have a freaking milestone, I don't care. So maybe for a lot of us, that has changed. That you're not doing 2 5-minute classes before you do a 30 minutes, and then 2 5-minute classes at the end, and boom, you have 5 classes.
Yeah, that's interesting.
They just need to focus on the amount of time that people are spending on the bike or the train.
Yeah, that's kind of like Chris said earlier. I agree with that. Now that you kind of mentioned it that way, because you're right. Back in 2016 and 17, you were trying to take like every instructor. You taking a bunch of different classes, but yeah, now in 2022, because we were all fanatical. You're right. Now I'm just trying to get my work in, and I'm trying to do what aligns to the regimen that I aligned and laid out. So that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to go over the top trying to make sure I'm on everybody's class, finding somebody that's going to give me a shout out. Now it's just I do my thing and I'm walking away. So you're right. I'm with you there. I hear you there. That is definitely different.
I'm in agreement with Yanira until she said she didn't care about people knowing about her milestones. Like, y'all gonna know about my milestones.
We gonna know. We're gonna
know. But no, I do agree that they should be looking at minutes versus number of classes.
I think so too.
I definitely feel like I take longer strength classes than I was taking when I first got on the bike. Because I started as an app user onto a bike user. So I definitely know that I'm taking longer strength classes than I was at the beginning.
You know what's funny? I'm in way better shape than I was back then, and I don't even ride as much as I did back then. It's just more. It's more focused. It's more directed. It's more. My mind is more clear on what it is I need to do. Like I don't go all crazy anymore. I weigh less than I did back then. So yeah, it's different.
One flip side to that, though, is, I agree with that transition over time and people's goals and methods of riding change. But the vast majority of people have joined Peloton since the pandemic and over the last year or two. So wouldn't they be in that newer phase? So shouldn't those be going up potentially because of that?
That's a good point. I've been saying for a long time that there's this this matrix, there's like this hype cycle, if you will. And I compared it to like the Gartner hype cycle in a post in my group a week or two ago. It's like there's this hype cycle of the Peloton rider. It's like you come in and then you're all hyped up, and then you go to this peak of of expectation, and then over time you start traversing down, and you come to more of a reality of like what this is all about, and then your workouts go back up a little bit, and you kind of level out at like kind of a normal kind of riding cadence and means. Like I've watched so many Peloton riders go through that hype cycle, right? That so I hear what you're saying, Chris. You're saying these people that just got their bike last year, shouldn't they still be at the peak of that hype cycle? Like I don't. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Probably right. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I guess when we hear the numbers next month, I guess that'll give us another element of information that we kind of can apply to what it is. But
I wonder if people are also right-sizing a little bit. There's like part of this Peloton culture where you'll end up working out for 3 and 4 hours. And those who do that, I respect them. I think that's great if that works for them. But you really don't actually need that much time working out if you don't want to do it. And so it's okay to figure out a 30-minute or hour-long workout in a day. And that may be 1 or 2 classes as opposed to 15 or 20 classes that people stack. So I also think some of this is right-sizing on the exercising culture as well.
I think you're probably right. Yeah, I think it is right sizing with regards to the exercise culture, and also with regards to whatever that dynamic was that happened during 2020 and then into 2021. I think it's a combination of those things. And like we're probably seeing. All right, cool. Unless anybody has anything else on that topic, I got another one here. Let's see. Jess Sims, Usain Bolt, they had what did they call it? On the leaderboard with Peloton, and it's like a YouTube series or something. And I don't know if there's supposed to be another one coming out with Olivia Amato. I don't know when that one's coming out. But the one with Jess was this past week. I want to say it was 20 minutes or so, maybe less. I thought it was going to be like a class, but it's less of a class, and it seemed like it was just more of a show on YouTube. They did a premiere, so while you're watching it, you can be in the chat on YouTube, and you can be talking about what you're seeing. It seemed like a kind of a fun thing, just kind of working Usain and him struggling to kind of keep up with the class, and they had little games in there while they're taking the class. I thought it was cool. I mean, it was cool, but I'm wondering what you guys thought about it if you checked it out.
Okay, first of all, if anyone has anything bad to say about Justin, just get off the stage right now.
Now, okay, let me preface this. You know Jess is my girl, right? Y'all already know that, right? Like, I ain't trying to dog out Jess.
I'm not talking to you, John. I'm talking to anyone else who may come up with some negativity. Just you watch my video earlier with me kicking, because I will kick you. No, I'm joking.
All right.
I'm joking. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. It's under 13 minutes long, I think. Jess was her usual self. She played listening games. She told him at one point to call her Miss Sims because she was a teacher. He definitely was struggling at some points because he's not into the endurance aspect of it. So it was really good to watch because it was like, yeah, you're panting right now. I would be panting too. The only thing I would say is that I wish that they had made it a class. I wish that they had made it something that you could take along with them at the same time and, follow the cues and all that kind of stuff instead of it just being like a YouTube video that you watch. But overall, I think it was a great introduction to the series. I hope they do more of them. I hope they have more with Jess on there. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I thought so. I picked up on that one piece you just talked about too. Jess looked like she must be a superhero or something, because how come he looked like somebody had thrown a bucket of water on him and she didn't even look like she was sweating? And so, yeah, that was a mess. Like, I mean, she was scaring me. But yeah, that was pretty amazing. Anyway, go ahead, Kari.
No, I was going to say, I got to catch it too. She's playing herself, right? I don't think she was holding back anything, and I loved the games. I thought it was a good little clip, 12 minutes, but I think it could evolve, just like what Danielle said. I think it could be something where you have a class with one of those people. Like I think they did the DJ Mustard ride at one point, and I don't know if Mustard was actually in the studio. This was a while back when they had Alex and Mustard was in this. I don't remember if that was the case, but either way, I think it could be something that they could build off of. But it was good.
DJ Mustard was in the studio, and so was the one they did with Cam Newton. They were both in the studio, and they did those classes. So it's definitely a possibility of something they can look into doing. It was really good, though.
Yeah, I wish they would have made it a class too, and maybe they will in the future. But I think that would I think that would be nice for people. I think people would love that. I don't know that the platform of just a show on YouTube is going to get as much. It's going to get as much appeal as if it was something that somebody could go do an outdoor run to and kind of listen to the dialogue. Because I think that would have been fun, or just take it on demand as a ride or run while watching it on the Peloton platform. Like, so, yeah, I'm hoping maybe they do that in the future as well.
But who's the target audience for that? Is it current members, or are they trying to get new members who, aren't as familiar with Peloton and they're coming because it's Usain Bolt and discovering Peloton that way? And the one thing I was going to say before that is just, I wasn't sure what numbers they're going for, but there's been 40,000 views of it so far in 3 days. So I'll be curious to see, how the future episodes do with number of views.
That's a good point. I mean, Courtney in the chat is saying the same thing. Like, the fact that it was on YouTube, she's saying that triggers that signals to her that it was advertising, and they are like really heavily going, follow us on YouTube with these series, right? So yeah, maybe the intent wasn't for it to be what an existing member would be looking for. That adds up. That makes sense.
Well, what I said in the group when we talked about it was that, a lot of people will follow what the celebrities are doing. So, putting on YouTube is a great idea because it'll be, Usain Bolt is tagged in it. He's posted about it on his Instagram. They tagged him in it on their Instagram stories. And it's just like, if someone looks at it and they're like, if this is good enough for Usain Bolt to train on, and he talks about the fact that he's been a bike rider and he rides with Allie all the time, and he's not paid for that part. I'm sure he was paid for this part, but I've seen him post stories like years ago about taking classes with Allie that had, I'm sure he wasn't paid for it. He was just talking about his classes. And I'm sure that draws people in. That they're like, if this is good for the fastest man on the planet, then it's definitely good enough for me. If he trains on a bike with, Peloton, or he runs with Peloton, then training with Peloton is sure enough good for me because there's no one faster than him. Like, you know, so I definitely think it's the draw to new people who don't know the product or don't know the brand or who may kind of be on the fence. So I think it's good that it's a YouTube channel, but maybe they could do both. Maybe they could do an abbreviated version for the YouTube channel and then do a full-out class version for those of us who are already members. So we could take the class with them. So just a thought.
Go ahead, Courtney.
One thing I did enjoy, I love the banter, Jess was herself, I love the games, but I love seeing him struggle because it normalized how I feel in Jess's class. Like when I'm cussing her out, like, ma'am, you asked us to do what? And I was like, here's this Olympian god, demigod, struggling, and his looks that he gave her, like, is she crazy? I was like, yes, this is like, it was just, I don't know, it just was, even for current members, I felt it was a positive motivation that look what the content and look what the workouts that Peloton is giving you. It's even challenging an Olympic athlete. So kudos to us for just showing up. Like, wow. So that's what I took from it.
You're right about that, but Jess was looking like a superhero to me. She was looking superhero-ish.
Yes.
You know, there was some superhero-ish stuff going on there. That was crazy. But yeah, but yeah, you're right. I hear what you're saying, Courtney. That kind of validates like us kind of struggling with this stuff. Like, she is amazing. But yeah, I hear you there. Like if people are watching it and they're seeing Usain Bolt out here, this is what he uses, and this is the type of workouts he's getting in. I can see that kind of helping from an advertising perspective. That makes sense.
I think any celebrity is going to help with the advertising perspective. You know, I said in the group when we talked about it that, like, even Rick Fox had posted about it on his Instagram stories and how his management team was mad at him because he was posting about Peloton and he wasn't getting paid for it. And they were like, we don't even get paid for this kind of advertisement. And he's like, yeah, but I just love the bike. And I love working out, so I'm talking about it. So, I mean, I think that's all kind of great advertisement for Peloton. So the more they can, you know, show celebrities who really work out with the brand, I think once you get to the point where it's only celebrities who are paid to work out, then it's a little different. But when you have those core base of celebrities who are working out, who paid for their own equipment, who were not getting paid to work out, I think that really draws people in.
Where Rick Fox been at?
The top of that list is Howard Stern.
Oh yeah. Yep. I know Howard Stern has a bike as well, but where Rick Fox been at? I ain't seen Rick Fox in a minute. Yeah, he used to be posting all the time talking about his Peloton. Maybe I'm just missing it.
No, I haven't talked to him recently. Steph, Yum Crispy, used to talk to him all the time. Last I heard was he had an injury and he was supposed to lay back and he was taking like yoga and stuff with Chelsea.
Okay.
And he bought his daughter a bike.
Oh, okay.
I haven't talked to him recently, so I don't know. So we'll have to get the update from Yum Crispy and see if we talk to him.
Okay.
I haven't talked to him in a few months.
Oh, okay. I'm about to tag him in this. All right, Rick, you all right. I'm going to leave you alone.
He was also out filming for a while, too, because I checked on him, and he said he was filming a movie, and he was injured, so I have no idea. I don't know if Steph talked to him either.
Oh, okay. All right, then he all right. Okay, let's see what else we can get in here. The next thing I had on the list. Okay, hold up. Last week, I was seeing all these German instructors advertising that they had these silent deep house rides. And they were putting their finger up to their lips. They were like, shh, like it was just going to be quiet up in here. And no instructors going to be saying nothing. And I was thinking, man, we're going to take this ride. It's going to be music and the instructors ain't going to be saying anything. How they going to tell me what I'm supposed to be doing on the ride? And I was all confused. I was trying to figure it out. So I took one of those classes last week. Them instructors were talking to the whole class. So now I'm all confused. What's a silent deep house ride if they talking?
John, I wondered the same thing. I thought it was going to be silent, and I did see you on the ride with Eric. But I loved the ride. The playlist was great, but I was confused by what I thought was supposed to happen in addition to the silence. I thought it was going to be a whole experience. So I thought, they would have the lights go, and like it it would be dim. There would be, glow sticks, strobe. I thought Eric would, be wearing a mesh muscle tee. Like, I just thought it was going to be the whole thing, and it was none of that.
They got me to go on this.
The ride was great.
The ride was good, but I mean, how they going?
More than I thought he would, and he had so many shout outs to give, and I was just like, oh, this is just like a regular class, so I don't know what the silent part of that was.
I mean, they got me. I mean, I had never taken last time I've taken a German instructor ride before, but I've probably only taken one or two, and it's been a while. They got me to get back on a ride with the German instructor. I mean, they was like, psych, and then they just started talking. I was trying to figure out what a silent ride was going to be like. So I guess it worked, but yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. But yeah, it was good. I mean, I guess it was essentially silent. I didn't understand what he was saying, so I guess it was. But anyways, yeah. If anyone else did anybody else take the silent, not so silent rides?
No.
Okay. Well, it was a good ride. It just wasn't silent. So I guess that kind of answers the question we had last week, which was, if these silent rides where the instructors aren't talking are going to be a hit, will they just start bringing that to other instructors and just have rides where the instructor doesn't speak? But I guess we have our answer now. The answer is no. That ain't going to happen. So, okay, cool. Next thing I had on the agenda was the Jocelyn Thompson Rule Tread Boot Camp. Did anybody take that? I was supposed to take it, but I didn't. I told Danielle and everybody I was going to be on that, and I didn't get on it.
I was supposed to take it too. I haven't gotten to it yet.
I haven't gotten to it yet. But I think that was her first one, right? That was her first Tread Boot Camp.
I heard great reviews, though.
Okay. I like her. I like Jocelyn. But I didn't take that class. If anyone took it and has anything to say about it, let me know. But if not, that's all right. I can move on to the next topic. Cool. The next thing I had is, I think they dropped today, right? The Rock 22 classes. I think that was the day that dropped. It sounds like you get, is it a badge for when you take the class, or is it a badge when you take the series of classes? Like, I'm not really sure what that is.
Both.
It's both?
I think you have to take a certain amount by a certain date, and then you get the badge.
Oh.
There's a class for the individual ones.
Oh, gotcha. I saw it out there, and I see a lot of people talking about it. I saw those shares, and I know folks were really excited about it. So I wanted to throw it out there just in the event that anybody took them and anybody liked them. Were there any particular classes or instructors that you liked? If not, I can move on to the next topic. But let me know if you guys took any of them. See, y'all like me, see. I'm not really into rock. But I wanted to throw it out there if y'all want to talk about it. Now, it'd be different if they had a new edition ride, but me and Kari still trying to get that working. That ain't happened yet. They ain't listened to us yet.
I don't understand why, John.
See?
The edition ride would be fire.
See?
But I wanted to talk, I put it in the chat about the roller skate ride. I don't know if anybody remembers the roller skating days and you hear some of the songs, but Jen put on some pretty good songs. She had Shannon on there. She had Expose.
Okay.
It was bringing me back, man. Like, I remember the really, really tacky carpet on the roller skating rink.
Yep.
The brownies. Everybody remember brownies?
Yeah.
Wait, Kari, which class is this?
It's Jen's mixtape ride. She put it on earlier this week. I think it was on Monday. No, it was on Thursday. It was a 5:00 afternoon ride, but I took it on demand, and I was like, man, these songs they're bringing it back. I was thinking of Egypt. I don't know if anybody remembers that song Egypt at the skating rink.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe I'm being too old.
Wow,
I'm gonna go off.
She was playing all that? I might check that out then.
No, I don't. Yeah, there were songs like that from skating rink.
Oh wow,
that she played. It was really good.
See, I might have to see if Erica's on the line. Erica, you gonna get on that? Because see, Erica from Memphis, and she just talk about roller skating all the time, Crystal Palace in Memphis, and that's all I had to hear about when she came to San Diego and I met her. She's talking about. So I know that might get Erica to get on that ride. So we have to check that out. Okay. Let's see what else we got. You see this, Danielle? I'm just like, I'm cutting through these agenda items today. You see how efficient I am?
You know it's 9:19, right?
Okay, my bad. Let me back off of that. Okay, let's see. I'm going to skip over the protection plan for now. Alex was at Champ Sports in Pembroke Pines, Florida last week. I don't know if anybody had a chance to go out there and check him out. If anybody did and had any experience there checking him out, let us know. I don't know if anybody on the call here had that experience, though, but I noticed that a lot of people in the group saw the post, and they showed up. They were out there at the Champ Sports, and they just rolled up on Alex, and they all took a whole bunch of pictures with him. And I thought that was nice that those folks got to see him. So I don't know if anybody here had that opportunity, or anybody here is from Florida, but if you had, let me know. The next thing I had on the list is, I saw this article last week, and it was talking about how iFit had just been nominated for an Emmy for an outdoor class that was filmed on, gosh, where was it now? I can't remember the location. I want to say Everest. And so, and I'm not sure how you get nominated for an Emmy for connected fitness class content. I don't know if you just submit your content and go, hey, this is like really great published and produced content. Can you put us in a category? Or if they reach out to you and say, can you provide us, some video that we can use to determine if we want to put you, I don't know how that happens, but they're like in a category for an Emmy for this class. And it's funny, they're in a category with like an episode of NBA on TNT Tuesday or something like. So when I saw that, I thought, well, they probably ain't gonna win. But it made me think, have all these connected fitness companies moved so far into like pop culture that now we gonna start seeing producers like Shaka walk on stage getting Emmy awards? You know what I mean? So, and also made me wonder, is iFit's content, outdoor content, that good that they could get an Emmy for it? And if it is, should Peloton be trying to get an Emmy? And will that do anything for your brand if you win an Emmy? Well, I got a million questions on that.
Maybe that's worth the extra $5 a month.
If they get an Emmy, then I'll pay the $5. Now, I know a lot of people say that the iFit outdoor content is good, but I know they talk about, that was kind of their niche. But Emmy made me go, is it at a different level than I thought? Or am I just giving too much weight to the fact that they are in a category to win an Emmy?
And maybe if Peloton would stop looking like they're taking me on drug runs, or scenic rides, or dropping me off of a freaking cliff, maybe they could win an Emmy. Right now, mommy's like, what's that abandoned car? Who are those people? Why am I literally dropping off of a cliff or running into the water at the end of my scenic run?
That is hilarious. I remember you told me that you like running into the water. Yeah, maybe maybe iFit content just is really that good. I think it's wild. It'll be interesting to see if anything comes of this, if they get any publicity from this, if they gain any notoriety from this, and if they win. Like now I'm all intrigued. Can you imagine if they won this Emmy? We would be hearing that everywhere. They'd have 1 million ads about Emmy award-winning iFit content. Cool. Anyway, there's a couple more things on here. I don't know how much of it we want to jump into. I guess the other thing was the Peloton protection plan. I know it was formerly the Peloton warranty, and I know that's all kind of changed. I know it's a little longer now, which essentially makes the cost a little less. So I know there's been some changes to that. When I saw the changes, I thought it was pretty made sense to me, like the transferability of the protection plan, and there's clarity in there about what you can do to like augment the equipment that I didn't have clarity on before. And I saw your statement, Chris, that like that wasn't really a new statement, but it was new for me. It was like, unless you change something that, like, let's say you called for Peloton support, something's broken on your bike. I used to think that if they came to your house and you had some, personalized piece of equipment that you put on your bike, regardless if it had anything to do with what was wrong with your bike, you'd be out of warranty. And then based on how this wording is now, that's not the case. It's like, no, you can put things on your bike. You can make adjustments, place add-ons, as long as it's not the cause of whatever the failure is that they're coming out to service. So I thought that clarity was good. I don't know what the purpose was in them changing the protection plan now, though. I don't know if that was a Uncle Barry thing to grab more loyalty. Like, I don't know what that was all about. But
my one thought on the timing was it came out the same day the guide came out, so potentially they had to work with their insurers to get the new plan for the guide, so they took the opportunity to, make these other changes at the same time.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, all the changes sound pretty logical and beneficial to anybody that's a Peloton subscriber. So, and clear. So it was very clear. I know some people were all happy about it. Others didn't really care, but I thought I'd bring it up in the event that anyone had any concerns or positive notes about it.
If anyone bought their warranty recently, I think they can call in and get a refund and buy the new one. So just as an FYI for, if anyone's out there who might be wanting the new one instead.
Cool. That's good information, yeah. All right, guys. Well, for the most part, I think I got through this. Other than the whole Blackwell financial thing, I'm going to leave that for next week. But other than that, I think we got through everything. You see that, Tammy? You see, Danielle? I'm all efficient this week.
But you're really not, because it's 9:26.
We got to get to bed. We're expecting the Easter Bunny soon.
You are not efficient whatsoever.
I ain't efficient. All right, I was trying to use that.
Come on, guys, give John some good feedback.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I finished my first week of floor boot camp, and we didn't even talk about it. We'll have to talk about it next week when I finish week 2.
Oh, wait a minute. Your floor boot camp?
The new classes with Jess and Selena.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Well, I could ask you about it. What's going on with the Selena, Jess floor boot camp?
It was good. It was. Selena talks a lot.
Yes. What was that comment John Pruitt posted? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so everyone was upset about her comment about not wearing deodorant. I will tell you, I switched to natural deodorant a few years ago, and you do have to stop wearing deodorant. You have to detox for a while, and use like a bentonite clay or something under your armpits every night to like help you detox. So that is a real thing.
Really?
Yeah. I've been on natural deodorant now for about 3 years, maybe. I've even switched Paul and my kids. They all wear natural deodorant. They use Dr. Squatch. I use something by a company called Bite. But yeah, you do have to detox. So I don't know that I would have announced it on like a recording of myself that millions of people were going to see that I wasn't wearing deodorant. But you do have to detox. But all in all, I thought the first week was good. And Selena does talk a lot. But the classes, burned up a good sweat. Like, I worked up a really good sweat in them. So,
okay.
All in all, it was good.
It's a good test for your natural deodorant.
Listen, I said this to my girls behind the scene when they commented about, I'm like, I can actually go days without deodorant. since I made the switch to natural deodorant, I can go days without wearing deodorant and not smell.
You know,
because your body just works better when you're not using all the chemicals.
Okay.
I know I'm giving you a hard time, but I actually have done the same. It does work.
I'm gonna do some research into this detox from deodorant stuff, but I have a feeling Erica's probably gonna put her foot down. I don't know, but I'm gonna check this out because
John James was not having it. Everything that Selena was saying, she just was not having it. It was so funny.
So wait a minute, while you detoxing, is you just like funky every day? Are you like funkified every day? Like, how is this detox working?
I mean, I guess it varies from person to person. But I did, like I said, the clay under my armpits, which makes a huge mess. I will tell you that. It makes a giant mess. And you have, like, it looks like mud and sludge in the bottom of your shower when you go to rinse it off.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Well, you know what? Not everyone has to. I did it because I found out that I had, like, some kind of allergic reaction to baking soda, which not everyone does. So I had to, like, completely, like, detox. I couldn't go from an antiperspirant that had aluminum in it to a natural deodorant that had baking soda in it, because then I had a reaction to the baking soda. So the deodorant I use right now has tapioca starch in it. It doesn't have baking soda. So not everyone really has to go through those steps with the clay. But if you find out that you're having a reaction to a natural deodorant, that means that you really need a detox. So not everyone actually has to detox. Some people can just make the switch.
All right.
Oh boy.
I mean, see, Janetta, I ain't gonna clean my bike.
No, that's not gonna happen. No.
See, I don't.
You know, when I smell these people that smell like onions, and no. Please, don't go around with no deodorant and shit. You need it. If you smell like onion anywhere, you need deodorant.
Janetta, see, I'm not gonna clean my bike, and I'm gonna go to natural deodorant. That's what I'm about to do.
No, please don't do that. Do not do that. Erica, throw him out. Please, get rid of him. Oh, God, disgusting.
I might not do that.
I promise I do not smell. Like, I'm serious. I do not smell. I do not.
Well, I gave you a big hug and you did not smell. I just want to say that. I want to be clear. I never smell anything bad. You smell good. I didn't. If I smell onion and people, oh boy.
See, no one smelled me. Gennaro didn't smell me. Steph didn't. John, you didn't smell me.
I mean, I didn't smell you, but I did order the French onion soup, so I don't know. It could have just been me smelling the soup. Like, I don't know.
You hugged me before your soup was delivered.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, you're right. All right, you're right. Okay, then you're good. All right. Well, I guess we'll call it a night at that. I appreciate you guys coming out. I always have fun talking to you guys. It's always, good, open, fun conversation, and it doesn't have to be all too fanatical and serious. It can be light, and I enjoy that about this group and this group of people we have here. So I hope you guys have a great remainder of your weekend. I hope you guys have great Easter Sunday, and if I don't see you guys on the tread or the bike, I'll talk to you guys next week. All right?
Good night, everybody.
Cool. Talk to you guys later.